St. George in February of last year. The woman says she was sexually assaulted despite telling him she wasn't interested, but Kingston has said their encounter was consensual. Days after his arrest earlier this year, BYU announced that Kingston was no longer a student or a member of the football team. He was supposed to have a preliminary hearing in Washington County today, but we're now learning Kingston has agreed to a plea deal. No word yet on the terms of the deal, but KSL does have reporters in the courtroom in St. George, and we'll bring you the details as soon as we get them. Reporting live, Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
BYU says they have placed a math professor on administrative leave after he was accused of exchanging sexual messages with a person he thought was an underage girl. A statement from the school goes on to say that they condemn abuse in any form, and the university will fully cooperate with law enforcement as this investigation moves forward. They also say the school is committed to offering support to any students who might be affected by this news. A Logan man is accused of abusing his wife and stepchildren for over 2 years. He's been charged under Utah's new child torture law. Investigators say Thomas James Parker shot his stepson with a BB gun, forced him to eat hot peppers, and would beat him with a belt and a dog leash. Several of his charges are first-degree felonies, including child torture.
And sends the message that we don't do these kind of things to kids. We don't, over a prolonged period of time, beat them and wear them down.
Former Washington County Attorney Eric Clark tells KSL that these charges bring more awareness to child abuse in Utah communities. Parents are being asked to monitor their kids' behavior on e-motorcycles after reports of teens pelting passersby with rocks. KSL News Radio's Tammy Kikuchi reports.
Police in Draper are getting reports from residents that teens on the e-motorcycles are not only throwing rocks at them, but also shredding parks and threatening strangers. The complaints are escalating as more high-powered e-bikes are on the roads, trails, and walkways. These vehicles are not pedaled and can go up to 70 miles per hour. Most communities have made them illegal for street use or off limits to anyone under the age of 16. The new law takes effect May 6 that requires riders to follow the same rules as other motorcycles on the road, including a driver's license and insurance.
Reports of harassment, including near misses with pedestrians and damage to private property, are coming from other cities as well. Have you heard of the Senior Assassin game? Students pay to play and then get each other out with a water gun, and the winner gets the money. But the Lehigh City Police Department says the game sometimes involves realistic-looking water guns, reckless driving, and even teenagers breaking into homes.
All these actions can lead to serious safety concerns and/or criminal charges. We have already had calls about suspicious individuals lurking in the darkness around homes while holding what the caller very understandably perceives as a real gun.
The Lehigh City's communications coordinator, Hadley Clement, with a message from the police department. They are urging parents to warn their students that their choices, even when playing a game, have real-world consequences. KSL's top national stories. The war in Iran continues with no end in sight. President Trump extended the ceasefire, but he did not provide a date for a second round of talks. Today, he said he has ordered the U.S. Navy to shoot and kill boats laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. More now from ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
President Trump claimed on Thursday that Iran is, quote, having a very hard time figuring out who their leader is, and said there's infighting between who he called hardliners and moderates. The post on social media from the president comes after he extended the ceasefire indefinitely, with the administration citing divisions with the Iranian government as a reason negotiations on a peace deal couldn't move forward. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on Wednesday.
There's obviously a lot of internal division. This is a battle between the pragmatists and the hardliners in Iran right now, and the president wants a unified response.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Despite the war, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has fired the Secretary of the Navy without warning. But ABC News contributor and former Defense Department official Mick Milroy says his departure won't really affect the daily operations of the U.S. blockade in the Strait.
They have no direct role in operations. So the chain of command goes from President, the Commander-in-Chief, to the Secretary of Defense, and then down to the combatant commanders. In this case, the Central Command commanding officer. So the Secretary of the Navy won't have any impact on that, but long-term health, welfare, steering the Navy, where it's going to go strategically and under defense policy, that's where the big impact will come.
Hegseth has said that John Phelan wasn't moving quickly enough on President Trump's shipbuilding priorities. First look traffic. Good afternoon, Ricky.
Good afternoon, Maria. In Draper, we have a crash blocking the intersection, 123rd South Minuteman Drive. That's just east of I-15. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:05.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Did you know Utah State University is home to one of the nation's leading centers for disability research and advocacy? At the Institute for Disability Research, Policy, and Practice, we work side by side with Utahns with disabilities, their families, and community partners to make our state more accessible and inclusive for everyone. Our researchers, educators, and advocates partner with family service providers and policymakers to create real lasting change. We believe that everyone deserves a chance to live, learn, work, and play in our communities. From helping children reach their potential in early intervention programs, to building accessible technologies, to improving mental health and employment supports, our work touches every corner of the state. The Institute for Disability Research, Policy, and Practice is the only disability-focused research center in the state of Utah. That means we're Utah's home for innovation, data-driven policy, and community solutions that make life better for people with disabilities. Find us at idrpp.usu.edu.
Thank you for joining us for Midday, recapping our top story. Former BYU wide receiver Parker Kingston is reportedly taking a plea deal after being charged with rape. KSL News Time, 12:07. A local man is running 1,000 miles to raise money for the Single Parent Project.
And my mom's a single mom. A lot of women in my life have been single moms. My dad's now a single dad. And so it's just a representation of just a fraction of the work that they're putting in.
Mason Wright has been running laps around Layton High Track for the last several days, averaging 50 to 60 miles a day. He says his body is really starting to feel it at this point, but he's determined to finish. He asked people to support him by donating to the singleparentproject.org. It's a Utah-based organization that provides resources for single parents. A batch of graduates said goodbye to Brigham Young University today. Elder Ulysses Suarez of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles spoke at the commencement, saying learning never stops.
The habits of discipleship you have cultivated here must now become the anchors of your future. Drawing near to Christ will not remove all uncertainty from the path, but it will give you clarity of purpose, resilience in adversity, and peace that surpasses understanding.
Elder Suarez congratulated the graduates, saying the light that they carry, the light of Jesus Christ, will shine in places that only they can reach. The Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints announced the new Nauvoo Temple Visitor Center will be dedicated this June. Elder Garrett W. Gong of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles will be doing the dedication and will be rededicating the resorted Brigham and Mary Ann Young home at the same time. Now, it's scheduled for June 27th, the same day the faith's founding prophet Joseph Smith and his brother Hiram Smith were killed. Practicing an attitude of forgiveness can lead to greater well-being, according to a New World study. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis reports.
Researchers say harboring feelings of hurt and refusing to forgive leads people to feeling bitter, resentful, and fearful, and it can even carry over into revenge-seeking behavior. They found people who easily and readily forgive have better psychological, social, and physical health. The researchers say this is not about forgetting or excusing harm, but demonstrating an ability to let go of anger and resentment, choosing to not let the hurt harm you more. They say this attitude can lead to lower blood pressure, greater hope, and can reduce depression. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
Time now for traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at uccu.com. What's happening, Ricky?
We've had a report of a crash downtown at 200 South and West Temple. And I believe we may have eastbound lanes blocked at that location. I'm trying to get a little bit of a better look. I don't have a lot of options for that spot through the cameras. Just be aware if you're driving in the downtown area, it might be an area you want to avoid. Again, that's 200 South and West Temple. Another crash, this time it's in Draper. It's been at the intersection of 123rd South and Minuteman Drive. That is going to be just east of I-15 near 100 East approximately. Most of the emergency crews have at least left, and so they're opening up lanes of travel. It's in the final cleanup stages. Also, an accident reported at 4th South and 8th East being cleared downtown. Valley Freeway traffic looking good, no problems there. Does your mom dream of asphalt? Well, maybe not, but she does dream of things done right. Whether you park it, stripe it, or pave it, GoPave's got your blacktop covered. Visit GoPaveUtah.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Following a morning shower, I've got sunshine this afternoon, high of 58 and breezy. 65 tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, bumping to 66 and mostly cloudy by Saturday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Well, I'm not seeing that sunshine quite yet. Mostly cloudy, 48 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. Coming up on Midday, we'll talk to KSL's legal analyst, Greg Skordas, about former BYU player Parker Kingston's choice to take a plea deal. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's the time of year when so many wonderful things are happening. First of all, we've got Mother's Day just around the corner. We also have a lot of engagement activities, even some early spring weddings. And, of course, we have graduations and so much more. It's time to make your reservations at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Either location, right in the heart of downtown Salt Lake City. If you're going to be up in the mountains, they're right there, Hotel Park City, with the very best meal you have ever had. It awaits you at either locations. Now, of course, I love to talk about the steaks. The ribeye is my absolute favorite. Each and every steak is cooked to perfection. But of course, there are other wonderful entrees as well, whether it be seafood or poultry or a specialty dish. It is time. Make your reservations for those special occasions that are just around the corner at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, heart of downtown Salt Lake City or Hotel Park City.
Every day here in Utah, people turn to KSL News Radio for one simple reason: trust. Trust for our reporters, hosts, our coverage, and trust in the businesses heard right here. I've met so many of our listeners over the years, and they'll tell you KSL is part of their daily routine, in the car, at work, at home. And when they hear your business here, it carries the weight of that trust. It isn't just another ad. It's a recommendation coming from a reliable source. When you advertise on KSL News Radio, you reach a loyal, highly engaged audience who listens intentionally. They show up for breaking news, accurate information, and meaningful conversations. And because of that connection, they respond. And when you pair our on-air credibility with digital tools like display advertising, social media, streaming audio, search, geo-targeting, and retargeting, you get a full funnel strategy that works and reaches the right people at the right time. Get marketing that truly moves the needle. Partner with the voice Utah trusts. KSL. Learn more at kslnewsradio.com/advertise.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KSL News Time 12:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
former BYU player Parker Kingston, who's been accused of rape, is reportedly taking a plea deal today in St. George. I'm KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson.
Second, a new study finds that going through life with an attitude of forgiveness can actually help your physical and mental health. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
Downtown drivers avoid eastbound travel on West Temple at 200 South. A crash there has some of those lanes blocked off. And we're in the final cleanup stages of the Draper accident, 123rd South Minuteman Drive. That's near 100 East. It's going to be just east of I-15. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
After a morning shower would dry things out, highs in the 50s. I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy, 48 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. With talks stalled and dueling blockades at the Strait of Hormuz choking off most tanker traffic, President Trump issuing a new threat saying the U.S. Navy has his approval to fire on boats laying mines in the strait. The bottleneck driving up oil prices and squeezing fuel supplies. European airlines announcing they'll scale back shorter flights this summer. ABC's Sam Sweeney says American carriers are also feeling the pinch.
It's going to get bad for Americans when it comes to ticket prices. It could go up as high as 20%. If fuel goes up even higher than it is right now, it could jump even more than that. We're already in the summer peak, so demand is high. Airlines reporting the highest demand they've seen in their company's history. That's for the big three airlines. So people are still flying. They're willing to pay these elevated ticket prices. And because so many people bought their tickets before prices shot up, the airlines are losing a lot of money.
Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders approving the Paramount Skydance takeover bid today. That's a major hurdle in finalizing the multi-billion-dollar mega deal that will impact streaming shows and productions, including HBO, Max, CNN, CBS, and Paramount Pictures. After dropping 2 weeks ago, initial claims for unemployment benefits jumping last week. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
214,000 out-of-work Americans filed for state jobless benefits in the week ending April 18th. 6,000 more than the previous week. The less volatile 4-week moving average rose by only 750, suggesting some stability in the labor market and fewer layoffs, despite a sluggish pace of hiring.
The San Antonio Spurs coach announcing Victor Wembanyama will travel with the team to Portland for games this weekend. Coach Mitch Johnson says he's progressing and his travel will also keep to the league's concussion protocol. The star player suffered a concussion during Game 2 Tuesday night after the fall, landing chin first on the court. Game 3 is Friday. It's not known if Wembanyama will be cleared to play. You're listening to ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. We're learning that former BYU football player Parker Kingston is taking a plea deal. He's charged with first-degree felony rape. KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas joins me now in studio. And Greg, we do not know the conditions of this plea deal, but is this pretty normal for someone to take a plea deal on a charge like this?
It is. It's happens far more than the alternative, which is to go straight to trial. In America, in this day and age, for every 100 people that are charged with a crime, probably 95 to 98 take a plea deal. And when you're dealing with a case like this, you just described it correctly, Maria, as a first-degree felony rape. There's a lot of wiggle room. That doesn't get much more serious than that. So, there are instances where you want to save the victim from having to testify. Maybe there's times when it's his first offense and he's falling on his sword and accepting responsibility. So there are a lot of things that could happen and a lot of things that go into play as you get ready for a case like this. And it happened on the eve of a preliminary hearing, meaning that everybody was there. The state had its witness there. Both sides were prepared to go. That's often a time when plea deals are struck.
So explain for us how justice is served when somebody takes a plea deal.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I get asked that a lot as a defense attorney, like, why do we charge people and then do a plea bargain? First of all, you couldn't try every case that comes through the system. I mean, like I say, you take 3 out of 100 to go to trial. If you took 20 out of 100, you'd have to build a dozen more courts in every city, and we can't do that. So you have to work things out. And second, it doesn't make sense sometimes when you have a victim who's saying, I don't want to go to trial, and you have a defendant who has no prior criminal history. And I'm not saying either of those occurred here, but my guess is maybe they did. Well, what's a fair way to resolve the case? Should we just say, look, there's still some justice that needs to be served. Maybe he needs to go to jail. Maybe he needs to go to prison. Maybe he needs to be on a sex offender registry. But do we really want to saddle him with a first-degree felony that could put him in prison for a very, very long time, sex offender registry for perhaps life? Or is this something where we can compromise, where everyone comes out a winner? And that happens more than you think. I know the public does not like the words plea bargain. They don't like that. But it really makes sense in virtually all the cases where it occurs.
Okay. So in a particular case like a rape case, and again, we don't know any of the details of this or whether it will actually go through, but in rape cases, what are kind of the things that people think about or prosecutors, defense attorneys think about when it comes to a plea deal? What are they taking into account here?
So to me, I think the primary concern in a rape case would be prison, because a rape conviction is 5 years to life, and that means 5 years to life. And it's rare that a person convicted of a rape would do anything other than go to prison. So if the prosecution and the defense can come to a plea bargain, sometimes it's a plea bargain that just plea bargain with respect to the sentencing. I'll plead to the rape, but if you'll agree to let me do a year or two in jail, something like that, or I'll plead to a second-degree felony, a 1 to 15, so that I don't have that maximum life sentence. So to me, when I'm dealing with a person accused of a first-degree felony like rape, the very paramount concern is how much time is that person going to serve in custody? That's where the plea bargain, where the rubber hits the road.
And then you kind of mentioned what it looks like on the other side. Maybe it's tough for victims to testify in cases like this.
Right. And in those kind of cases, it's literally a he said, she said. So is a jury going to believe her? Are they going to believe him? Is there a chance that the state puts on the entire case, puts the victim through really a horrible couple of days, and the jury says not guilty? So that happens a lot in cases like that, where you don't have a lot of corroborative evidence. You don't have, a photograph or fingerprints or something like that, or injuries perhaps. That's not to say she's not telling the truth, but it is something to say when you're dealing with a jury of 8 who have to unanimously agree that a person is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So if both sides can get something out of it, some level of justice, like you said a minute ago, Maria, that's a good way to resolve a case.
All right. Thank you, Greg. KSL's legal analyst, Greg Skordas, joining me live. Greg is also the co-host of Inside Sources every morning that you hear beginning at 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big with construction loans at UCCU. Ricky?
We want to talk about
I am getting a better look at this crash that's affecting traffic in downtown Salt Lake City. It is blocking eastbound lanes of traffic and possibly maybe some southbound lanes. It's a little difficult to tell. This is the intersection of 200 South and West Temple. Even though there are a lot of lanes blocked off, you've got officers there, a lot of them, at the intersection to direct you through. So watch that traffic control that's in place at 200 South and West Temple in order to try to get through the area. Your best bet, avoid it, go around the block and take an alternate route. We also have a crash report up by the zoo, 2600 East Sunnyside Avenue. Now, if you happen to be driving any of the Valley freeways, you're good to go. Good speeds and no problems reported there along the Wasatch Front. No matter where life takes you, Cyprus Credit Union has the tools to help you plan your financial future. Start today at cypruscu.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. I got a 58 today, dry by afternoon, and breezy. 65 tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Clouds filter right back into Utah on Saturday, mostly cloudy, 66. 57 with a chance for showers there on Sunday. Monday, rain showers possible, 60. We go to 64 and mostly cloudy skies Tuesday. Hey, Wednesday still cloudy, but 65. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Still looking pretty gloomy here in downtown Salt Lake City, mostly cloudy, 48 degrees. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. And still to come, we're going to take a look at your money news. I can tell you it's a different day than it was yesterday on the markets. Seen a lot of red today. A complete update of your money news is coming up next.
we want to talk about soda, diet, and nutrition. SOTA stands for state of the art. And Andy and I both let go of massive amounts of weight. You more than me.
70 pounds in 5 months.
And I did 37 pounds in 3 months. And what worked for me was so many things. Talking to a nutritionist every week and having her tell me what to eat. I can do as I'm told.
Yeah.
But I have no clue where to begin.
And I needed the help too. It's just food. There's no pills, no injections. So you learn how to both let go of the weight and then how to keep it off.
So soda, diet, and nutrition is a great place to start. But if you started with pills or medications and you find yourself starting to gain some weight back, soda, diet, and nutrition is a great way to learn how to have a new relationship with food to go into the future.
You can talk with a nutritionist by calling 866-800-SOTA, S-O-T-A, or you can go to their website, sotadietandnutrition.com.
Join now and your partner joins for free. 2 people, real accountability for the price of 1.
Join us for a short time to have results that last a lifetime.
Business technology has changed a lot over the last 70 years. But one thing hasn't.
Les Olson is here.
As the years have passed, there's been one constant. And after 70 years and still counting, Les Olson IT is here with the technology and the people to make life easier, more productive, and more secure for your business. Let Les be here for you.
I'm Congressman Mike Kennedy. For years, Utah families have paid too much for healthcare, groceries, and everyday essentials. I'm fighting for healthcare reform that puts patients first and lowers costs. I'm also working to cut waste, fraud, and abuse in Washington because your tax dollars should be spent wisely. Fiscal responsibility means lower costs and a government that works for you. I'm Mike Kennedy, and I'll keep fighting for Utah families. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Hi, I'm Utah Tax Attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news. Keep in mind, it's not just you.
I owed roughly $34,000.
$61,000. When the IRS first contacted me, I was horrified.
When they start hounding you and harassing you and assaulting you.
Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
From what I got told was being done in a matter of 2 years, he had done in a matter of like 48 hours.
It's a great thing to have the IRS off your back.
We have reduced our tax liability by over $42,000.
Once I signed on with Jordan, I never talked to the IRS again.
It changed our lives.
You need someone to fight for you. Visit endtaxworry.com and get relief today. Let's solve your tax problems now. Visit endtaxworry.com. That's endtaxworry.com.
Any Hour Services free furnace sale is going on right now. If you haven't scheduled your free estimate yet, do it now. Call Any Hour Services today or schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
KSL News Time, 1225. Watching Utah's money. Google Meet is going beyond virtual meetings. The app will now be able to generate summaries and transcripts of in-person meetings. The Verge reports it's also supposed to be so good that you don't have to be in a quiet room to do so. It should be able to tune out background noise. Costco seems like it's always busy no matter what time you go, so the chain is working to open at least 30 more locations every year for the next 10 years. Fox Business reports they're also looking at renovating inside of their stores. U.S. car rental companies say Americans are looking for electric vehicles as the price of gas continues to go up. Reuters reports Hertz and Turo both reported an increase in requests for EVs as much as 25%. And taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is down by 192 points, more than 0.25%, sitting at 49,302. S&P up by down by 30 points, and the NASDAQ down by 220 points, nearly a full percent.
Utah homeowners, listen up. If your roof is over 15 years old and you've had recent storm damage, now's the time to act. Hey, it's Josh with IWC Roofing, and we've built our reputation on quality, integrity, and taking care of homeowners the right way from start to finish. IWC Roofing, Utah's highest-rated roofing company, is now offering $2,500 off your new roof replacement, plus a free upgrade package to maximize your home's protection and value. But that's not all. We're giving away a free roof. Yep, you heard me. One homeowner will receive a brand new roof free. The winner to be announced August 1st. And here's where it gets even better. When you call and mention this radio ad, you'll receive double entries to win. Appointments are filling up fast, and this offer won't last. Call now for your free inspection and estimate. 801-232-5690. That's 801-232-5690. Save $2,500, get upgraded, and you could win a brand new roof. Call IWC Roofing today, 801-232-5690. Restrictions apply. No purchase necessary. See IWCRoofingUtah.com for details and rules.
Make your space bloom with beauty with Olson's Greenhouse, locally grown premium flowers. Join KSL News Radio live this Saturday at 90th South Home Depot in West Jordan to celebrate Olson's Container Fest. It's happening at all Home Depots. You can join Ton and me for the Greenhouse Show on Saturday morning from 8 to 11. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big. UCCU. Love where you bank. And here's Ricky Meese.
The crash in Draper has been cleared. Minuteman Drive, that's about 100 east at 123rd South. All lanes are open. But we still have a lot of lanes blocked and a lot of crews on the scene of this crash with probable injuries downtown at 200 South West Temple. They are going to be blocking some eastbound lanes, if not most of them. Traffic control is in place at that intersection. Watch for officers to direct you through. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
After a threat for some light rain showers this morning, we've got a 58 by afternoon and breezy. 39 overnight, mostly clear. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, 65 degrees. We bump it to 66 on Saturday, though mostly cloudy. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
You're listening to Midday with Maria Shilaos
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time, 12:30. Right now in downtown Salt Lake City, it's mostly cloudy, 48 degrees. KSL's top local story this half hour. Civil rights attorneys are now suing Utah County on behalf of a man accused of killing a Santa Quin police officer. Attorneys say Michael Aaron Jane's defense team is not being given enough money to provide him a fair representation. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more.
The lawsuit now filed in federal court claims Utah County leaders have imposed caps on fees for Michael Jane's attorneys, as well as mitigation and investigative work in the case, all of which totals $340,000. However, the suit claims in the case of Tyler Robinson, the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk, the county has allocated a minimum of $3 million for fees with no caps. Elizabeth Wong is one of the attorneys representing Jane in this lawsuit.
There's really no valid reasons why there should be such a stark difference in funding, especially when the mitigation case for Mr. Jane is going to require so much more work.
Utah County Commissioner Skylar Beltran responded to the lawsuit in a statement saying, quote, "We are committed to safeguarding constitutional rights while carrying out our duties responsibly and in accordance with the law." Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Local communities are deciding whether or not to participate in the Utah Community Clean Energy Program. If they vote yes, $4 will be added to their Rocky Mountain Power utility bills to help fund clean energy infrastructure in Utah. But in Ogden, residents aren't sure it's the best way forward.
It's not actually written. The end plan may differ dramatically. If history has ever taught us anything, it's that Rocky Mountain Power will say and agree to things that one thing up front and do another thing on the back end.
Ogden City Council has not yet voted on a proposed ordinance to join the program. The announcement Tuesday night to force Flaming Gorge Reservoir to send up to 1 million acre-feet of water to Lake Powell is not sitting well with the people who live or work around the lake.
It's going to put, our family businesses, our marinas, recreation, the fishery, everything in a terrible pinch, and Daggett County completely relies on recreation.
Stacy Rauch owns the Cedar Springs Marina. She says they are already moving docks, ramps, and boat slips, but with the potential of the reservoir to drop up to 30 feet, she's worried it would force operations into the lake's main channel. She's worried that they will have to end their season early due to the low water level, and she's also worried about next year. The sky lit up this morning when a meteorite from the Lyrid meteor shower broke up over Utah at 4:50 a.m.
This is a fireball. This isn't just a meteor, but a large meteor, and we call them fireballs. And the heat and the pressure is getting so intense on this rock, essentially, that's flying through the air, that it actually breaks up. And for a split second, you get a big flash, and that's because it's exploding. It's breaking up. The heat and pressure got so great that it actually broke up. And it's actually making part of the Lyrid meteor shower. The Lyrid meteor shower, I should say, and it actually peaked last night, and we're probably getting some leftovers, right? It extends all the way to the 25th of April, but really the highest concentration of meteors in our sky is last night and this morning.
That is KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson. He's been reviewing videos that people have sent in, and he says if you have a northeast-facing security camera on your home, give it a look to see if you caught the flash in the sky. KSL's top national stories. The Senate has passed a blueprint for the funding of the Department of Homeland Security, but Democrats are not psyched about the idea. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has more from Washington.
The budget resolution that passed overnight in the Senate sets the table for a package that would end the Homeland Security shutdown, circumventing Democratic objections to funding ICE and the Border Patrol without reforms. The measure passed 50-48, with Republicans Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Rand Paul of Kentucky joining Democrats in voting no. The resolution now heads to the House, where its future is uncertain. Some Republicans in that chamber want this reconciliation package to do more than just fund DHS.
The vote came down a little before 4 a.m. Other national stories KSL is following. The Trump family's crypto company, World Liberty Financial, is getting sued by a former ally. Jason Sun is a prominent Chinese-born investor who claims it engaged in criminal extortion and fraud. More from ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
Sun was a major supporter of World Liberty Financial back from the early days. He had cultivated these deep ties with the Trump family, but now he is suing the Trump family's flagship crypto venture for allegations of fraud. He is claiming that World Liberty's managers see the project as a golden opportunity to leverage the Trump brand to profit through fraud. Now, the lawsuit also says Sun has invested roughly $45 million into the company, and he's accusing the company of freezing his investments in the firm's digital token to try and ratchet up pressure on Sun to promote another one of the company's offerings.
Zach Witkoff, special White House envoy Steve Witkoff's son, who is a founder of World Liberty Financial, has called this lawsuit entirely meritless. First look traffic, let's check in with Ricky Meese.
A good-looking drive on the freeways, but we do have a crash with injuries downtown and traffic control in place at the intersection of 200 South and West Temple. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:37.
Is the volatility of the stock market driving you crazy? Is your retirement account sinking, yet you're getting older and you're starting to worry about, will I have enough for retirement? What about the money in the bank? These banks pay nothing these days. How do we get growth to get to retirement account? It's simple. Move into gold and silver. Want to know how to do it? Listen to my show, Striking Gold, with me, Kenny Michaels.
Now on Saturday at 5 p.m.
Cameras, artificial intelligence.
On one hand, it's a surveillance state issue. Like, are we being watched too much?
And networks you don't even know exist are tracking you right now.
It helped us in a number of investigations to bring people to justice that likely would not have happened.
Who's watching and what are they doing with it?
We have a right to privacy in the United States, and I hope that we can maintain it.
KSL explores the tension around our growing surveillance state, tonight at 10.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-990-1551. That's 800-990-1551.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
KSL News Time, 12:38. The NFL Draft starts tonight. We could see some locals in the crowd. We'll talk to KSL sports anchor Jeremiah Jensen about it at 12:45. Real Salt Lake played in front of one of the largest crowds ever to pack America First Field, thanks in part to superstar Lionel Messi playing with Inter Miami. Real hadn't lost in 6 straight matches, but in the end, Miami came out on top 2-0. Now, Messi did not score, but he did set up some scoring opportunities for his teammates. Let's get you up to date with traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at UCCU.com. What's happening on the roads, Ricky?
Nice and quiet on the Valley freeways, Maria. And unlike yesterday at this time, I'm not seeing any kind of weather conditions causing any kind of wet roads or snowy conditions. So right now, we're looking pretty good. We do have crews still wrapping up this crash with injuries downtown 200 South and West Temple. It did have most eastbound lanes blocked. Looks like officers are starting to pick up those cones and starting to allow some traffic to get through that intersection once again. It's in the final cleanup stages. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, not a bad day shaping up after some morning rain chances, mainly Salt Lake City north. Afternoon highs around 58, sunshine, couple of clouds, and breezy. Overnight, 39. We'll go to 65 tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Clouds filter right back in Saturday with a high of 66. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And it's mostly cloudy and 48 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City, and still to come on Midday. We'll see if any Utah locals and NFL hopefuls will achieve their dreams tonight. That's coming up. Streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
This is the time of year when allergies really pick up. It seems like even when you go home, the sneezing and watery eyes keep going strong. The truth is, allergens don't get caught inside the house. Up to 40 pounds of dirt, dust, and allergens can be collected in your carpet each year, not to mention everything that's living in your vents. But with Zero-Res carpet and air duct cleaning, you can get a fresh reset. Zero-Res cleans without harsh soaps or detergents, so there's no sticky residue left behind. That means your carpets stay cleaner longer, and your home stays healthier. Now is the perfect time to schedule your cleaning because Zero-Res is offering a special. 3 rooms of carpet cleaning for just $119 plus a free hallway. A clean home is a healthier home. Get your fresh start today at Zerores.com. Spelled the same forwards or backwards. Zero-Res is the right way to clean. Zerores.com.
Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs change, kids grow up, new memes come and go. But what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Well, thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats. You get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices and no one battling for bandwidth for the next 5 years. All your devices will be working in perfect harmony with the equipment, with no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings. So even though your kid will grow up and you still won't understand 6, 7, the price for your sharp, reliable internet will stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener. Like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV. But if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to you at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's deatakeback.com.
KSL News Time, 1245. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
civil rights attorneys are now suing Utah County leaders, accusing them of not allocating enough money to provide a fair legal defense for a man accused of killing a Santaquin police officer. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, parents are being asked to monitor their kids' behavior on e-motorcycles after reports of teens throwing rocks and harassing people in Draper. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
We do have good speeds up and down the I-15 corridor between Ogden and Provo. A new crash being reported. This is in Tooele County, southbound Main Street, SR 36 at Saddleback Boulevard. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
50s today with a bit of an afternoon breeze and sunshine. Then it's 60s tomorrow. I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy, 48 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Escalations in the Middle East over the Strait of Hormuz continuing. President Trump telling the Navy to shoot to kill anyone on boats attempting to lay mines. ABC's Ian Pannell says U.S. ships, though, are not positioned in the strait.
It remains to be seen. Iran hasn't really said much today other than it's collecting revenue from the ships that are passing through the Strait of Hormuz, a situation that didn't exist before the war, and that money has gone into the Iranian treasury. But other than that, they haven't talked about ceasefire, about the talks. And I think it's just a game of waiting by both sides to see who can endure the most economic misery.
Senate lawmakers passing a budget resolution blueprint aimed at restoring most of Homeland Security without Democrat support, who have pushed for ICE reforms. That measure now heads to the House. Mortgage rates tumbling for a third straight week. The 30-year fixed rate now at 6.23%, according to mortgage buyer Freddie Mac. This is ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. The NFL draft starts tonight, and we might see some of our locals make the major league. KSL sports anchor Jeremiah Jensen joins me now live. And who should we be keeping an eye out for, Jeremiah?
Hey, Maria. Yeah, there's a couple of Utes you need to watch out for tonight. Now, remember, the NFL draft has taken place over 3 days. Today is the first round. That happens tonight. Day 2 is rounds 2 and 3, and then day 3, which will be Saturday, is rounds 4 through 7. So tonight, if you're watching the NFL draft, there are 2 players to keep an eye on, and they're both offensive tackles at the University of Utah, Spencer Fano and Caleb Lomu.
Okay. Any other players locally that we need to watch over the next 3 days?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, day 2, I think Jack Kelly of BYU is a name to keep an eye on there. He's potentially a third-round pick, but linebackers are funny. They're kind of like running backs on the offensive side, is where teams will wait late in rounds to get good value. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly when he could go, but I've heard as high as third round as far as his grade. So Jack Kelly of BYU, probably the first BYU Cougar that'll come off the board, potentially tomorrow, but could also be on Saturday. There's several other players to keep an eye on during this draft as well. Chase Roberts of BYU is a receiver that could hear his name called. Spencer Fano's brother, Logan Fano, is a player that could have his name called in later rounds. Lander Barton of Utah and Dallin Bentley, a tight end for the Utes as well. So, and sometimes there's those guys that you never know are going to get drafted that do. There's some guys you think are going to get drafted that don't. So that's kind of the drama of the draft. It's kind of a crapshoot. So it'll be interesting to see how that all develops over the next 3 days. But NFL fans, it's one of their favorite events of the year, so it's going to be fun to watch.
Okay, so what does this say? What do these local players say about really the state of local college sports here in Utah?
Well, it's awesome, Maria. So if you're having 2 offensive tackles at Utah being drafted in the first round, what does it say about their program? And I think that this is not just it's not just rare for Utah to have this happen. It's rare for any college in the NFL draft to have 2 players at a position taken in the first round. So it says a lot about that program. And BYU, with a lot of players returning to school this year, to still have some NFL prospects in this draft, even though they only have a small handful of players moving on, says a lot about that program, where they're developing NFL talent each and every year. BYU did not have a pick last year. Kind of a similar situation with a lot of guys staying in the program and not having a lot of guys graduating that were at NFL grade. So every single year you're seeing NFL talent come from the local schools, and not just local schools, but high schools have developed this local talent. Spencer Fano, Logan Fano, Lander Barton, Chase Roberts, these are all guys that went to Utah high school. So the state of Utah continues to produce NFL talent, which is cool to see.
Okay, what are you most excited about for tonight?
I just love the draft. I love the NFL. I love the whole thing about it. I love watching the commissioner give guys hugs. It's just a cool thing to see these guys who have worked so hard in their lives see this dream realized, and I think that's fun. If you're an NFL fan, you just love watching the whole spectacle of it. So that's what I'm excited for. But I do, having covered these guys, it's really cool to see them have this moment and see their families enjoy it. So it's quite a special thing.
All right, Jeremiah, thanks so much.
You got it.
Joining me, that is KSL sports anchor Jeremiah Jensen talking about the NFL draft. Let's get you up to date on the drive. Traffic and weather. It's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big with construction loans at UCCU. Here's Ricky Meese.
In Tooele County, we have a crash with possible injuries, and it's blocking multiple directions and multiple lanes at the intersection of SR 36 Main Street at Saddleback Boulevard. This is in the Lake Point area. We do have officers pushing one of the vehicles with their own cruiser out of traffic, but some of these vehicles, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get them moved out for a while. So definitely use caution trying to get through that intersection. Also, a report of a possible accident, I-15, about 30th South. I'm not seeing anything through the UDOT traffic cameras yet. We'll keep an eye on it. And we're certainly not seeing any delays on I-15 or any of the other Valley freeways at this time. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. You got an AM shower today, then it clears, 58 and breezy. 65, mostly sunny skies on Friday. 66 with cloudy skies Saturday. Sunday, rain chances return to the Wasatch. 57 the high, 60 with a chance for scattered showers Monday. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, 64, and a 65 cloudy Wednesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And it's mostly cloudy, 48 degrees downtown. 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. And we do have some breaking news. Just into the newsroom, we are learning the state has rejected former BYU football player Parker Kingston's plea bargain. That means he will be going to trial next month. And that news just coming into the KSL newsroom. And still to come on Midday, we are going to be looking at the markets. We've seen some negative numbers today. Markets taking back some of yesterday's gains. A complete update of your money news is coming up next. Well, summer is right around the corner. I know it doesn't look like it today, but it's going to be here soon. And if you really want to take off those extra pounds and you've been looking into programs, I'd like to tell you about Salt Lake City Fat Loss. This is a program that I began a couple of years ago. The great thing about it is it helps you take off the weight very quickly. Kind of eliminates a lot of your excuses, like the excuse that, oh my gosh, I've worked so hard to take this weight off before and I'm just going to gain it right back. Salt Lake City Fat Loss is doctor developed, and they really educate you so you can keep the weight off. They also have a great app that helps keep you accountable. It allows you to ask questions, voice concerns at any time, and it also educates you about how to keep that weight off. It gives you great resources. SLC Fat Loss also costs you less money because, unlike other programs, you don't have to buy any medications or injections or special things like breakfast bars, so it's a lot less money to sign up. So today, if you would like to take advantage of this 60-day program where you just eat regular food and you want to know if maybe you're a good candidate for the program, you can check it out free of charge, no obligation. All you need to do is go to slcfatloss.com to learn more. That's slcfatloss.com. I lost more than 40 pounds. Many of their clients lose up to a pound per day. slcfatloss.com.
Hi everyone, it's Congressman Blake Moore here. I'm proud to support legislation that strengthens the integrity of our elections. I voted for the Save America Act, which requires proof of citizenship when registering to vote and a valid photo ID at the polls. Utah has long prioritized transparent, secure, and accessible elections. Passing this legislation helps encourage the rest of the country to follow our lead. To learn more about what I'm doing in Congress, sign up for my weekly e-newsletter at blakemore.house.gov and follow along on social media at Rep. Blake Moore. It's our honor to serve you and your family in Congress. Thank you. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
KSL News Time 12:55. Some lawmakers say it's an American's right to buy a rotisserie chicken.
These lawmakers want to make a change to the current SNAP restrictions. It's clearly outlined the funds cannot be used to buy hot food, but they think hot rotisserie chicken should be the exception. Several of these lawmakers cited their own experiences, saying they buy the hot chicken when they're short on time or just feeling lazy, and it's kind of an American staple. It's good for seniors, working families, and those who may not have consistent access to a kitchen to cook. The bill doesn't propose a big change on the purchase of hot food. It just says rotisserie chicken should be allowed. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Watching Utah's money, Americans are getting less sure that they'll have enough money to retire. Wall Street Journal reports only 61% are very or somewhat confident in having enough. That's down from 67% in 2025, 72% in 2021. The Health and Human Services Secretary says he's considering a ban on junk food advertisements on TV. CNBC reports it would likely draw some major backlash from major food manufacturers. Food and drink companies spend around $14 billion per year on ads in the U.S. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is down by 202 points, nearly 0.5%, sitting at 49,288. S&P down by 35. The NASDAQ down 243 points, nearly a full percent.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Since 1947, Whipple Service Champions has been Utah's most trusted name for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical services. Got a high-priced repair bill from another company and you're just not sure about it? Call Whipple. Get a free, no-pressure estimate or bring us their quote for an honest second opinion. Totally free. Whipple Service Champions, Utah's first place for second opinions since 1947. Call 385-273-7167 for your free estimate today. 385-273-7167.
For over 22 years, speaking on business on KSL News Radio has been a beloved tradition, celebrating our heroic business leaders and Utah consumers who have helped build one of the strongest state economies in the nation. Now, under the stewardship of the Salt Lake Chamber and hosted by Chamber President and CEO Derek Miller, the program continues to shine a spotlight on those who make Utah's business environment dynamic and thriving. With his expertise and passion, Derek brings the stories of our business community to life. As part of the Salt Lake Chamber, Speaking on Business is proud to continue its legacy of highlighting inspiring stories, trends, and special guests. Support Utah businesses now and be part of Utah's thriving economy. More information can be found at slchamber.com. That's slchamber.com.
As the #1 small business lender, Zions Bank helps entrepreneurs reach and exceed their goals. Visit your local branch or zionsbank.com/SBA. Equal housing lender.
KSL Broadcast Group contests are open to participants 18 years of age and older that are residents of Utah, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest may not enter. Persons who have won in the last 30, 60, or 90 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available at kslnewsradio.com/contests.
Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big. UCCU. Love where you bank. Ricky?
They're opening up more lanes of travel to get you through the intersection of SR 36 Main Street and Saddleback Boulevard in Tooele County, where we still have the cleanup of the crash that continues. If you're on any of the Valley freeways, we're seeing good speeds. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Taking a look at the forecast for the Wasatch Front, still a good chance of showers today, decreasing tomorrow. Today's high 58, 65 tomorrow, 48 downtown.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
A major reclassification today by the Trump administration on state-licensed medical marijuana. The change could have some interesting effects on medical pot here in Utah.
It's a big deal because if and when cannabis is rescheduled, it opens up a lot of research for American institutions. As medical cannabis operators, we've always wanted to have the institutional research to back what, people are finding anecdotally.
The time is 1 o'clock on Thursday, April 23rd. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Coming up, we'll go in depth on how these changes could affect Utah law and what medical marijuana advocates are saying about the move today. Also this hour, thousands of students at Brigham Young University celebrating their educational achievements with graduation today.
Your graduation is now part of that legacy.
We'll hear more from Elder Ulysses Suarez of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles coming up at 1:35. But first, our top stories. A new lawsuit claims Utah County leaders are not allocating enough money to provide an adequate legal defense for a man accused of killing a Santaquin police officer. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has details.
The suit, which is now working its way through federal court, claims the county is only setting aside a combined $340,000 for attorney investigation and mitigation fees in the case of Michael Jane, who faces the death penalty if convicted. However, the suit also says the county is forking over around 10 times the money in the case of Tyler Robinson, the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk. The suit also accuses the county of capping how much they'll spend on legal fees in Jane's case, which his attorney tells me goes against previous federal court rulings.
Utah County Commissioner Skylar Beltran responded to the lawsuit saying that they are committed to safeguarding constitutional rights. Our top national story from ABC News. Both the U.S. and Iran continue to patrol the Strait of Hormuz. In a post on Truth Social today, President Trump said that he ordered the U.S. Navy to shoot and kill boats laying mines in the strait. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
So far, previous attacks on those Iranian minesweepers have been from air. So this is not clear if the president now is indicating a potential new phase in the operations against Iran, but it is certainly a new threat from him. There are also, it's very unclear right now, and there's a lot of uncertainty about whether Iran is actually doing any mine-laying operations during this current ceasefire.
On Tuesday, President Trump extended the ceasefire with Iran indefinitely, which was previously set to expire yesterday. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow down by 248 points. That's a full 0.5%, sitting at 49,241. S&P down by 44. The NASDAQ down 281 points. That's more than a full percent. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at UCCU.com. Ricky?
Good speeds, no problems reported on any of the Valley freeways. The cleanup continues, but most lanes are open. With the crash at the intersection of Main Street, SR 36 at Saddleback Boulevard in Tooele County, a crash called out downtown at 200 West, about 12th South. With nutrients blended for greener, healthier turf in our local soil, IFA's 4+ lawn care program is the ultimate lawn owner power move. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
It looks like April's going to go out a bit rainy. Looking at the 7-day forecast, there is a chance of rain, even though just a slight slight chance tomorrow. There's a chance of rain each day for the next 7 days. Today's high 58 degrees, 65 tomorrow, and 66 by Saturday. But then the temperature is dropping big time on Sunday. Right now, 48 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Right now, water heaters are on sale at Any Hour Services. Schedule a free estimate today to see how much you'll save. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Can we talk about something difficult to discuss? Are you going through a difficult financial time? You have equity in your home, but nobody can help? American Home Loans has created the Bridge Loan Program to use your equity regardless of your credit at this time. The Bridge Loan can be used to pay debts, collections, IRS liens, divorce settlements, or home improvements. Call at 801-262-2221. That's 262-2221. This loan creates a bridge between now and a much brighter future. After COVID, one of their clients had over $85,000 in credit cards. Their scores were too low to borrow on their home. American Home Loans was able to save them $2,000 a month. And after 8 months, they qualified for a conventional loan and lowered their payments. The consultation is free and confidential. Please call them and see what they can do for you. The number is 801-262-2221. It's 262-2221, or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. AmericanHomeLoans.com. NMLS 245422, Equal Housing Lender.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The acting head of the Justice Department says he's clearing the way for the expanded use of medical marijuana. It involves a reclassification of state-approved medical marijuana. Now, what kinds of legal challenges will it involve, and what might it do to medical marijuana here in Utah? We have an in-depth look at all of those questions, beginning with ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy in Washington.
The acting attorney general says his move would immediately reschedule state-licensed and FDA-approved medical marijuana from Schedule 1, in the same class as heroin, to Schedule 3. Todd Blanche's order would pave the way for significant tax breaks for the distributors of medical marijuana and ease restrictions on federal research of cannabis. The drug remains illegal under federal statutes, but the administration says it vows to expand patients' access to it as a treatment.
KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas says the reclassification moves medical marijuana into the same category as several other drugs not commonly associated with addictions.
Historically, marijuana until today was a Schedule 1 drug, the same as heroin, the same as LSD, methamphetamine, those kind of very serious drugs. Now it is moved to Schedule 3, which is by step Schedule 2, which are the like opioids.
Yeah, exactly.
But so now it's, I'll give you some Schedule 3 drugs, Tylenol with codeine, pain medication, ketamine, which we've talked about on this show, steroids, testosterone, drugs that are not seen as having the same potential for physical and psychological dependency. In other words, it's not seen as a drug that would be something that would cause an addiction in the same sense that some of these other drugs are.
Skorda says that by changing this classification, it could open the door to further research on marijuana.
I think that the medical community, the medical marijuana community, thinks this is a step in the right direction. It's not. It doesn't take federal law as far as Utah state law, let alone all these states that have recreational marijuana. We're a long way from that, but it certainly takes it further than it has been in the past. The administration does say that there is more to come. So this is this is very similar to what we talked about Monday when the Trump administration did the same thing for certain psychedelics to help people with PTSD,
right?
Especially the veterans. So again, very limited research, very limited use to allow some drugs to be used for purposes that are medically appropriate for people that are suffering from certain conditions.
Yesterday, we spoke with a veteran and national advocate about the administration's changes to psychedelics, and she said the same thing, that these changes could open the door to further research. Now, it sounds like the same kind of thing would apply now with medical marijuana. For a local reaction to this announcement, I turned to Alex Orge, who is the founder of Keep Utah Medical. So, Alex, what does this mean for us here in Utah?
Yeah, so the announcement today is a follow-up on the executive order from December. And, this is a long process. We're excited to see further acceptance of medical cannabis by the federal government. But this is just the next step in the process of getting to full reclassification. There's a lot of meetings and different things that need to be done from now till it actually gets reclassified. But again, it's the next step. So we're excited about it.
So describe why this is a big deal.
So it's a big deal because if and when cannabis is rescheduled, it opens up a lot of research for American institutions. As medical cannabis operators, we've always wanted to have the institutional research to back what, people are finding anecdotally. So it eases restrictions on that. I think it's a sign from the federal government that we need to ease restrictions to medical cannabis in our state, and we should be taking those steps and allowing more people to have easier access to cannabis as a medicine. Additionally, there is some tax benefit. Cannabis businesses aren't allowed to deduct expenses. With this moving to Schedule 3, cannabis businesses will now be taxed like every other business, which is helpful for us.
You mentioned that this is just a first step. What will this mean for medical marijuana in Utah?
So it doesn't mean a lot today. It's a symbolic gesture that continues this process. There was a lot of wondering of, okay, when is the next step going to happen? It was back in December, President Trump had asked for this to be done expeditiously. And then 4 months later, we're now getting to that next step. And it was the DOJ and the DEA that needed to basically qualify and register his executive order and provide rules and administrative procedures to go forward. We'll have more meetings in the summer. But again, it's a great announcement. It's another acknowledgement of medical cannabis's value by the federal government. And it's just the next step in, it's the next rung on a ladder that we're going to have to continue to climb.
Yeah, if and when this does become finalized, would action actually have to be taken by Utah lawmakers as well to make this actually take effect in Utah?
So it is federally, it's federal law. So what the state would need to do is maybe match up some legislation so nothing contradicts the federal law. But the hope is that the federal government will largely defer to the state programs that have been running well, they've been running efficiently, and administratively just defer to the state while the federal government acknowledges that these are medical products and they are no longer Schedule 1 illegal and everything that comes with Schedule 1.
The conversation has been going on for some time now about medical marijuana and its uses. How do you feel that Utahns' perspective has changed over time? How do you think they feel about this?
Well, what we're seeing from the voters in the polling that we did, that 66% of voters support making changes to the medical cannabis program that ease restrictions for qualified patients. So we're seeing further acceptance of medical cannabis by Utah voters. We've been advocating for telehealth, being able to get your med cards through telehealth, and expanding condition lists to include, things like sleep. We think that this is a directive and further evidence that we should be supporting medical cannabis patients and easing restrictions so that more people are doing it legally in the state system rather than either going out of state or using illicit cannabis.
Anything we need to add on this conversation?
What we've noticed is as the state is more restrictive on access to medical cannabis, we see more support for adult use growing in our state. So at Keep Utah Medical, our main priority is to advocate for medical cannabis patients by easing restrictions through public policy so that we can stop some of these cries for adult use or recreational cannabis in our state. We're trying to keep Utah medical, and that means supporting medical cannabis patients.
Alex Orge is the founder of Keep Utah Medical. You can read more about the Trump administration's change to medical marijuana classifications at kslnewsradio.com. Meantime, President Trump is talking about drug prices right now in the nation's capital and the fact that drug makers are talking about lowering their prices. Let's listen into the conversation.
Also joined by Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Bobby, thank you. Secretary Howard Lutnick, Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz, who's doing a fantastic job. They all are. FDA Commissioner Marty McCary and Chief Counselor of Health and Human Services, Chris Klump. Thanks, Chris. Great job you're doing, Chris, wherever you may be.
Thank you, sir.
No, he's there. For decades, Americans have been forced to pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, by far. Prices that were many, many times what the rest of the world was paying, because we had a president that didn't know what they were doing, or they weren't able to get other countries to agree to it. I was able to do that because I used tariffs. I said, if you don't agree to it, we're going to put tariffs on your country. And they said, we would be honored to do it, sir, after telling everybody no, including me. But they agreed to do it. The United States is just 4% of the world's population, and consumers only 13% of all prescription drugs, yet pharmaceutical companies have been making 75% of their profits from American customers. So think of that. With 4% of the population and doing only 13% of all prescription drugs, the companies make 75% made, I don't know, maybe, hopefully they continue, because actually it's not as bad for them as it sounds. In fact, many of their stocks are up, because actually when the price goes up, on the one end, they make up for the price coming down in the United States. So it really worked out pretty good. To address this chronic unfairness, I signed an executive order instructing my administration to do everything in our power to slash prescription drug prices for Americans while getting other countries to pay more, in many cases much more. But their other prices doubled, and sometimes they tripled, and ours would go down by 60, 70, 80%, even more. Today, we're building on our unprecedented success with Regeneron, committing to offer all new drugs moving forward at most favored nations prices. They'll make their current drugs available to Medicaid and MFN. That's most favored nation. Additionally, they'll also offer their current drug, Praluent, which is the lower cholesterol and fight heart disease, to all consumers at dramatically lower cost. It'll come down from $537 to $225 and be available at TrumpRx.gov.
Okay, President Trump is announcing changes by drug makers. Some drug makers choosing to lower drug prices, and we'll continue to follow that for you. Stay with us. We'll be back with more in just 60 seconds.
We want to talk about SOTA, diet, and nutrition. SOTA stands for state of the art. And Andy and I both let go of massive amounts of weight. You more than me.
70 pounds in 5 months.
And I did 37 pounds in 3 months. And what worked for me was so many things. Talking to a nutritionist every week and having her tell me what to eat. I can do as I'm told.
Yeah.
But I have no clue where to begin.
And I needed the help too. It's just food. There's no pills, no injections. So you learn how to both let go of the weight and then how to keep it off.
So SOTA Diet and Nutrition is a great place to start. But if you started with pills or medications and you find yourself starting to gain some weight back, SOTA Diet and Nutrition is a great way to learn how to have a new relationship with food to go into the future.
You can talk with a nutritionist by calling 866-800-SOTA, S-O-T-A, or you can go to their website, sotadietandnutrition.com.
Join now and your partner joins for free. 2 people, real accountability for the price of 1.
Join us for a short time to have results that last a lifetime.
A new lawsuit claims Utah County leaders aren't giving enough money to provide adequate legal defense for the man accused of killing a Santaquin police officer. Prosecutors seeking the death penalty against Michael Jane, who is charged with killing Sergeant Bill Hoosier. But now civil rights attorneys claim Utah County is only allocating about a tenth of the money that they are allocating for other capital murder cases. For more on this, I am joined by KSL News Radio's Adam Small. And Adam, what exactly is going on right now?
Well, Maria, right now we're still waiting for the criminal case to actually play out. We're still waiting to see whether this case will go to trial. But there's a new complaint that's been filed in court. This is a civil matter. So these civil rights attorneys on behalf of Michael Aaron Jane, who is the man accused of killing Santaquin Police Sergeant Bill Hoosier in just a little under 2 years ago now, they are now suing Utah County leaders in federal court on Jane's behalf, alleging that they are not putting forward enough funding to provide Mr. Jane a adequate legal defense, which is his constitutional right. And one of the big things they're using in their case to justify the complaint is a stark difference in funding between his capital murder case as well as Tyler Robinson's, who is the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk. So they say this lawsuit says in Michael Jane's case, the county has put a cap, a $200,000 cap on attorney's fees for his defense team, as well as an additional $80,000 for mitigation and $60,000 for investigative fees. So all in all, $340,000, but there are caps. However, in Tyler Robinson's case, the county has allegedly allocated only upwards of $3 million for attorney's fees, but no caps on mitigation or investigator fees. So you're talking 10 times the money for one capital case versus the other. And I also spoke with one of the attorneys who's representing Michael Jane in this civil matter, and she pointed back to a presentation that we talked about earlier this year from the legislative session, where Utah County actually asked the legislature for believe it was around $2 million for financial assistance for helping actually give Tyler Robinson further, adequate legal defense, basically asking for help covering his costs. But they're claiming, hey, you didn't do the same thing here for Michael Jane, and you're already allocating 10% of the money for Tyler Robinson's case with caps, which they're also arguing courts in previous federal court cases have ruled that caps are not proper for providing adequate legal defense. So this is all around, hey, there's a stark difference in funding here, and this is severely hindering Mr. Jane's ability to have a fair defense when and if this goes to trial.
So has there been any reaction from Utah County?
Yeah, so I actually did get a statement in response to this lawsuit from Utah County Commissioner Skylar Beltran, and I'll just read that for you because they are obviously trying to watch their words carefully. Anytime someone's sued, that's just how it goes. The response I got was, quote, "We are committed to safeguarding constitutional rights while carrying out our duties responsibly and in accordance with the law. Our jail administration and defense processes adhere to the highest standards. As this matter is pending litigation, we will not be providing additional comment at this time," end quote. Again, that is from Utah County Commissioner Skylar Beltran. So they're saying, hey, our standards are up to par, and obviously they're going to have to see how this plays out in court. But, I mean, it's a lot of money. And, again, at the end of the day, it's taxpayers are footing the bill for this, whether it's at the county level or the state level. But these cases cost quite a bit of money. Usually, according to that presentation at the legislative session I mentioned, where Utah County said the average capital murder case, which both of these cases are, on average cost $1.6 million more than your standard criminal case. They are pricey.
And that is KSL News Radio's Adam Small joining me. No court date has been set yet in this case. And as soon as we have more information, we'll be sure to let you know on air, on our website, and on the free KSL News Radio app. We did want to tell you about a breaking news story coming to us out of Louisiana. We have learned that there is an active shooter reported at the Mall of Louisiana. This is in Baton Rouge. The governor actually confirming that he is aware that there is an active shooter situation going on right now. We do not know how serious it is. We do know that one of the affiliates there is saying that one of the witnesses says that there are possibly 2 people who have died there, but we do not have that confirmed. We will continue to bring you more information as we have it. After the break, little progress in the way of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran today. We'll get the latest updates on what's happening with the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz coming up next. But first, it's traffic on KSL News Radio, and it's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big with construction loans at UCCU. And here's Ricky Meese.
Still looking at a nice and quiet drive on the Valley freeways, and cleanup continues in Tooele County with this crash at SR 36 Main Street and Saddleback. The intersection is mostly clear. All crashed vehicles are out of traffic. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Most financial advisors only manage your money. They refer you out for taxes. They refer you out for estate planning. They refer you out when things get complicated. Did they really vet that person? Or did they meet once, exchange business cards, and call it a partnership? A referral isn't accountability. It's a handoff. When your investments, taxes, and estate plan are built separately, gaps happen, and those can cost money. At Trajan, we didn't build a referral network. We built a family office for all. Wealth, tax, estate. One team delivering coordinated planning, once reserved for the ultra-wealthy. If you want real coordination and not just introductions, call Trajan Wealth today.
Call Trajan today at 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900. 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
For over 22 years, speaking on business on KSL News Radio has been a beloved tradition, celebrating our heroic business leaders and Utah consumers who have helped build one of the strongest state economies in the nation. Now, under the stewardship of the Salt Lake Chamber and hosted by Chamber President and CEO Derek Miller, the program continues to shine a spotlight on those who make Utah's business environment dynamic and thriving. With his expertise and passion, Derek brings the stories of our business community to life. As part of the Salt Lake Chamber, Speaking on Business is proud to continue its legacy of highlighting inspiring stories, trends, and special guests. Support Utah businesses now and be part of Utah's thriving economy. More information can be found at slchamber.com. That's slchamber.com.
Did you know Utah State University is home to one of the nation's leading centers for disability research and advocacy? At the Institute for Disability Research, Policy, and Practice, we work side by side with Utahns with disabilities, their families, and community partners to make our state more accessible and inclusive for everyone. Our researchers, educators, and advocates partner with family service providers and policymakers to create real, lasting change. We believe that everyone deserves a chance to live, learn, work, and play in our communities. From helping children reach their potential in early intervention programs, to building accessible technologies, to improving mental health and employment supports, our work touches every corner of the state. The Institute for Disability Research, Policy, and Practice is the only disability-focused research center in the state of Utah. That means we're Utah's home for innovation, data-driven policy, and community solutions that make life better for people with disabilities. Find us at idrpp.usu.edu.
It's spring. You get outside and it's obvious your house needs painting. Make an appointment with CertaPro Painters. They'll give you a free estimate quickly and at the right price. And they make the entire process easy with reliable updates and communication. They know how important your home is to you. True professionals, they're committed to quality and exceptional service at the right price. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
We do have breaking news. We are learning more information about that shooting in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This is at the Mall of Louisiana. We have learned from our affiliate WAFB that 2 people are in critical condition. Up to 6 people have been injured in that shooting. And right now, police are looking for 1 or 2 shooters in that case. We will continue to bring you the very latest here on KSL News Radio. There is little progress on peace talks with Iran today. President Trump ordering the U.S. military to shoot and kill small Iranian boats that deploy mines in the Strait of Hormuz. News Nation's Robert Sherman says there's a lot of uncertainty about what happens next.
And with that uncertainty, you have seen the United States ratcheting up pressure on Iran on multiple theaters here today in order to push them back to the negotiating table. One, directly relating to the Strait of Hormuz, putting pressure on any of those small boat Iranian ships going through there that have the potential to be laying mines. This is the statement that President Trump put out a short while ago here today, saying, I have ordered the United States Navy to shoot and kill any boat, small boats though they may be, that is putting mines in the waters of the Strait of Hormuz. There is to be no hesitation. Additionally, our minesweepers are clearing the strait right now and hereby ordering that activity continue, but at a tripled up level. That's one element of all of this tension and ratcheting up of pressure here. Then you have what happened in the Indo-Pacific overnight. The second time this week that we have reported on a stateless ship being seized by American forces in the Indo-Pacific, well removed from the region here in the Middle East, but the Pentagon making clear in their statement that this is all about disrupting illicit networks and interdicting vessels that provided material support to Iran wherever they operate. The entire globe you're seeing right now is in play when it comes to pressuring Iran. And then you have the added military firepower coming here to the region. The USS Bush is expected to be here in the Middle East in the next couple of days. The USS Ford, which had to leave the theater in order to be repaired, is now operating in the Red Sea. And the naval blockade is staying precisely where it is. Central Command saying today 33 ships so far have already been turned around.
And that is News Nation's Robert Sherman reporting. It's 1:30 midday at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. Thousands of BYU graduates celebrated today, encouraged to shine a light of faith and service as they go forth to serve. Businesses at Flaming Gorge preparing for the worst with news that water will be diverted downriver to help with energy production at Lake Powell. And KSL traffic, Ricky.
Good speeds on I-15 between Ogden and Provo. Maria?
We do have a breaking news story coming to us out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where we have learned that 6 victims have been rushed to the hospital there. Local affiliates confirming that. And our WAFB, the ABC affiliate in Baton Rouge, saying 2 people are in critical condition and that the police are searching for 1 to 2 shooters. Again, this is happening at the Mall of Louisiana in Baton Rouge, where there is a massive police presence right now. We will continue to bring you the very latest. We have developing news locally. Parker Kingston will go to trial in Washington County next month after prosecutors rejected his plea bargain. The former BYU football player is charged with rape. Other local stories KSL is following. Parents are being asked to monitor their kids' behavior on e-motorcycles after reports of teens pelting passersby with rocks. KSL News Radio's Tammy Kikuchi reports.
Police in Draper are getting reports from residents that teens on the e-motorcycles are not only throwing rocks at them, but also shredding parks and threatening strangers. The complaints are escalating as more high-powered e-bikes are on the roads, trails, and walkways. These vehicles are not pedaled and can go up to 70 miles per hour. Most communities have made them illegal for street use or off limits to anyone under the age of 16. The new law takes effect May 6 that requires riders to follow the same rules as other motorcycles on the road, including a driver's license and insurance.
Reports of harassment include near misses with pedestrians and damage to private property, and they're coming from other cities as well. A big announcement from BYU basketball superstar A.J. DeBonsa today.
Today I'm officially declaring for the 2026 NBA Draft.
The move comes just after his freshman season in Provo. DeBonsa was the leading scorer in the nation, averaging more than 25 points per game. The 19-year-old is expected to be on the one of the top prospects in the draft. He says it was important to his parents that he continue his education, so he plans to finish his degree in mass communications online. New research finds that daily and repeated forgiveness can lead to real positive mental and physical health outcomes. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis explains.
Researchers say the definition of forgiveness can be hard to pin down, but in general, it marks a shift in attitude towards accepting bad things can happen, but good things will also continue. The study was led by Harvard researchers across 23 different countries and found that harboring anger and resentment can raise blood pressure and can harm your social and emotional health. Those who told researchers they regularly forgive had lower depression, higher happiness, and a greater sense of meaning in their lives.
Interestingly enough, countries that often have the most harm done to them often have a greater culture of forgiveness. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is down by 182 points. That's an improvement in the past half hour. It sits right now at 49,311. S&P down by 29. The NASDAQ down by 224 points. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at uccu.com. Ricky?
It's been a quiet drive on all the Valley freeways, light traffic, good speeds. We do have the final cleanup of the crash in Tooele County, SR 36 Main Street at Saddleback Boulevard. All vehicles are over to the side, so all lanes open at that intersection. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
30% chance of showers across the Wasatch Front this afternoon with a high of 58. A little bit warmer tomorrow, a high of 65 and 66 on Saturday. 52 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Right now, UCCU is offering short-term savings options with incredibly high yields. Simply make a deposit, then watch your savings grow with a fixed rate of return that's much higher than a savings account. UCCU also has great offers on jump-up options. So if rates continue to rise, you can jump up your rate and earn even more. Visit uccu.com to learn more and supercharge your savings today. UCCU. Love where you bank.
I'm Walker Kessler, and I play basketball for a living. So I know how important it is to have the support of a team you can trust. That's why I love UCCU. UCCU is more than a credit union. They're a true financial partner. A local team of experts your entire family can trust at every step of your financial journey. Just visit uccu.com and elevate your banking experience.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
We continue to follow breaking news here on Midday. We're looking at a shooting in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at a mall there where local media reports multiple people have been shot. Let's go now to our ABC affiliate WAFB in Baton Rouge for the very latest.
The police chief and the mayor headed to speak with us at this moment so we can find out more of what happened with this situation at the mall. They wanted us to reiterate that this was between two groups of people at the mall. The shooting happened near the food court. Let's listen in.
Okay, ready? All right. We're hearing just one shooter or multiple. What can you tell us at this point?
So right about 1:22 this afternoon, we got reports of shots fired here at the mall in the courtyard, the food courtyard area. We had a massive law enforcement and medical response come. Thanks to all our responding agencies, everybody from the Sheriff's Office, the St. George, State Police, and even FBI came to help to respond to this. We got here very quickly, secured the scene. No more active shooting going on. We started treating victims until EMS got here. EMS got here very quickly and were able to transport victims away from the scene within minutes. What we found out looking through surveillance video is it looks like it was kind of a targeted, two groups of people got into an argument inside the food court and started shooting at each other. Unfortunately, there were some innocent people that were in the area that might have also caused some rounds. Right now, we have 10 victims at local area hospitals, some transported by EMS and some arriving by private vehicle. Definitely, our hearts and prayers go out to all the victims involved in this, various level of injuries, and we're going to keep giving y'all updates as we get them.
How many critical, Chief?
Right now, we don't know. We have, at least a couple of them that are in trauma going through surgery, so we don't have an exact number right now. We'll give you those numbers as soon as they become available.
Parking lot's still full of vehicles. Are you still working to get customers, people who were in the mall at the time, out of the mall?
Yeah, so as we get some resources kind of freed up, we're still, going through the mall, making sure we don't have people that lock down and hide and make sure that they're safe and okay, and we're going to start trying to just evacuate the whole area. We had a big crime scene set up in case the suspects were on feet in the area, looking in canals. We got helicopter, drones, all those kind of resources. So we had everything locked down, not wanting anybody to leave, but we're going to start opening that up as soon as we can.
Are you guys?
Any idea how many weapons that were used? You said shooting at each other. Possibly.
Yeah, we don't know right now. We're looking through all the surveillance video and coming through crime scenes processing, looking at shell casings that were on the scene. Anybody that has any help, please plead out to the community right now. If you know anything, please call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous, 344-STOP. If you have any information that you can give us.
Do you believe there's any threat to the public at all?
No, right now, there is no known threat to the public. Right here is the safest place in Baton Rouge, in this area. But as we start developing suspects, we're going to run down every single lead that we can to get these people in custody. But it does not appear to be just a random act of violence, but a very targeted kind of disagreement between two groups of people.
How many people in those two groups?
Right now, I don't want to kind of release that information because it's really preliminary.
Do we know the age ranges of the victims at all?
No, not right now.
What would you say to just people out there watching or waking up seeing this or waking up this here in the lunch hour and just kind of really worried about what might be going on with Baton Rouge?
Yeah, so first thing is just keep these victims in your prayers, right? Second thing, just know that Baton Rouge Police Department and all these agencies out of here, EMS, Fire Department, everybody that responded, we are trained for this, right? Unfortunately, it's one of the part of the jobs that we train regularly on, responding to an active shooter scene like this. Hats on to all the law enforcement that came, stabled everybody, EMS that got here and quickly transported the victims to get the care they needed at the local area hospitals, and that we are going to control this. Mayor?
Like I say, number one, first and foremost, prayers for the victims and their families, above all else. I want to thank our public safety officials, all the law enforcement people out here. This is proof of how good they are and the response they had and what they're doing. And to the thugs who did this, we're going to catch you. Okay, we're not going to have this in Baton Rouge. It's not going to happen. And I have complete confidence in our law enforcement partners that we're going to go out and grab these guys and get them off the street. Thank you.
Mayor, if we may, look, we just had a major domestic mass shooting in Shreveport, made national news. Now we're looking at this. People that are scared, what do you say to them today?
Well, I think people at the end of the day have the right to be concerned, about it. And sometimes the devil lives everywhere. And this is one of those situations, no matter how much law enforcement you got or social programs or whatever, if someone gets in their mind that they're going to do something like this, they're going to do it. And then sometimes all we can do is respond. I just want the public to know that we got the finest, whether it's medical, law enforcement, all our agencies are the finest in the country to respond to these things.
And you were listening to WAFB out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where a mass shooting has taken place at the Mall of Louisiana. In the last few minutes, we learned that there are 10 victims, 10 people who were shot, and that there was an argument between two groups that led to this shooting. We will continue to follow this for you. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
Spring has arrived, and that means it's time for one of J&J Garden Center's most anticipated events of the year, Tomato Frenzy. Right now at J&J Garden Center in Layton, you can pick up large, healthy tomato plants for just $2.99 each. That's half off the regular price and one of the best garden deals of the season. Whether you're planting a few favorites for fresh summer salads or filling your garden with rows of tomatoes, Tomato Frenzy is the perfect time to stock up. J&J's greenhouses are full of strong, ready-to-plant varieties, and the J&J team is always there to help you choose the right plants for your garden and growing space. While you're there, don't forget to grab everything you need to give your tomatoes their best start, including J&J's premium topsoil, garden supplies, and planting essentials. But don't wait too long. Tomato Frenzy only runs through April 25th. Visit J&J Garden Center in Layton and start growing your best tomato harvest yet. J&J Garden Center. Country grown to your home.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Thousands of BYU graduates sat down for the commencement ceremony today to hear from a current apostle of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Elder Ulysses Suarez of the Quorum of the 12. During his speech, Elder Suarez told students that their bright future lies ahead.
I hope you see this day of graduation for what it truly is, a sacred gateway to a future not yet revealed, but foreseen by a Father in heaven who knows you perfectly. As you celebrate today, may I encourage you in a private moment to again express gratitude to those whose faith, sacrifices, encouragement, and quiet support have helped you along the way. Would you do that for me? Your celebration today is enriched by a sacred milestone in the history of the Brigham Young University. This year marks 150 years of devoted learning, spiritual growth, and pursuit of truth revealed by God and discovered through diligent study. Today's commencement celebrates not only your achievements, but also the faith, sacrifice, and prophetic vision that established this university and continues to guide its divine mission to help individuals pursue divine progress and eternal life. Your graduation is now part of that legacy.
Elder Suarez said graduates are called to bring a light to the world through their career and their faith. He referenced Ida Lewis, an American lighthouse keeper known for rescuing people off the coast of Rhode Island.
She faithfully tended a light that guided ships through dangerous waters. But she did more than keep the light. Beginning at age 15, she ventured into churning and frigid waters to rescue those who could not save themselves. Over time, she became known not only for keeping the light, but for becoming part of it, bringing safety, hope, and life to others. In many ways, her life reflects the very mission President Kimball described. The world you now enter is filled with uncertainty, shifting values, and spiritual storms. Like the faithful lighthouse keeper, you are not only called to preserve the light, you are called to beam it forth, to act upon it, to bless and sometimes rescue others because of it. Graduates, the prophetic charge given by President Kimball, later echoed by our dear President Rees in the invitation to becoming BYU, is not limited to administrators, faculty, or institutional plans. In a very real sense, it now rests upon you. As you step forward into your divinely appointed future, you do not simply benefit from that vision. You are now called to become stewards of it, just like the courageous lighthouse keeper.
Elder Ulysses Suarez of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles speaking there at Brigham Young University this morning. The several thousand BYU grads will now participate in convocations with their individual colleges over the next 2 days. Businesses that rely on recreation at Flaming Gorge are preparing for a worst-case scenario as plans are being made to draw down the reservoir in order to shore up the Colorado River and boost water levels at Lake Powell. Business owners and residents were given the bad news Tuesday night, news that about 1 million acre-feet of water will be diverted downstream to Lake Powell to support power generation there. Cedar Springs Marina owner Stacy Rauch says right now they're preparing for water levels at Flaming Gorge to drop by about 30 feet.
We're down here with our sleeves rolled up and we're moving
we're actively moving the marina right now and getting things into place. When I go home tonight, I'm going to be contacting customers. I'm putting together a letter that I'm going to send out to my seasonal slip holders and explain the situation that we're in and let them know that, this fall we're going to be facing record lows and that our season may come to an early end. Typically we're open April 15th through October 15th. And we've got the doors are open right now and we're ready to go. But that doesn't mean that we aren't, with this drop that they're projecting, we're going to be losing slips this season. And, we might have to call it an early fall so that we can start dismantling docks and moving things out of the cove as it shrinks. Where one of our sections of docks are located, a year from now, it is going to be on shore. It will be land there. Where I'm talking to you from right now, which is the store at our gas dock at the marina, with the projected drop that they have next April, this will be land where I'm standing.
Rauch tells KSL News Radio's Tammy Kikuchi it won't just be boaters who are affected. She says the drawdown will also impact the fish.
The fish biologist that was there, he said that what we're going to see is an entire year. There's going to be an entire lost generation of the kokanee salmon, because when they're talking about doing this drought, looking at the elevation levels that they're going to see drop in the fall when the salmon spawn, the eggs that they lay will be dried up. They'll be up on shore and dry, and we'll never see those hatch. And so it's going to be, pretty abysmal for the kokanee population. It's a 3-year landlocked salmon. And so we will be losing a year of those, if not more. It could be the beginning of the end of it all if they do this again next year. This drop alone is going to put all of us in a terrible pinch. It's going to put, our family businesses, our marinas, recreation, the fishery, everything in a terrible pinch, and Daggett County completely relies on recreation. That's what supports Daggett County just in general. And we're going to see a huge decline in recreation. The marinas, what we have next year is going to be significantly smaller.
Rauch says it's difficult to imagine how the county and surrounding businesses, including her family-owned marina, will recover. Utah getting a special opportunity to take part in a massive time capsule to celebrate the nation's 250th birthday. But what's going in it to represent the state? Details coming up next, but first it's traffic on KSL News Radio. It's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big with construction loans at UCCU. Ricky?
It's quiet out there. We are seeing a crash-free, delay-free drive on all the Valley freeways and our main secondaries at this time. Of course, if you see something happening, text us and let us know, but do so safely at 57500. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
The United States is facing a mental health crisis, but there is hope. At Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, they're transforming how mental health is treated and researched, bringing compassion, innovation, and access to those who need it most. Your donation helps fund life-saving care and cutting-edge research that leads to better treatment for everyone. It's already making a difference. Huntsman Mental Health Foundation has built Utah's first ever mental health crisis care center, open 24/7 to anyone, regardless of ability to pay. They've also recently launched a youth crisis care program at Huntsman Mental Health Institute, giving kids and teens immediate support. And Huntsman Mental Health Foundation is expanding services like therapy, medication management, geriatric care, and treatment-resistant support. Join us. Be part of the change. Donate today at hmhf.org. That's hmhf.org.
April is National Donate Life Month. Here in Utah, we're among the top in the nation for organ transplants, yet hundreds still wait for a second chance. The good news? You can help. Say yes to organ donation and save lives, even while you're still living. Intermountain Health encourages you to consider living organ donation. Also, update your wishes on your driver's license, your medical record, and share your decision with loved ones. Because when you choose to give life, it's not just their future, it's your life, your health.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Hi, I'm Mike Kay at My Policy Quote, and if you missed open enrollment or did enroll in one of those marketplace government plans, it's not too late. I save my clients 30 to 60%. That's an average of $3,500 to $9,000 in premium savings. At My Policy Quote, you can choose any doctor, zero deductible for outpatient expenses, and oh, one more thing, premiums are not tied to your income, so there's no surprise tax penalty at the end of the year like those government plans. And unlike those ACA plans where the use prices are dictated, with me, all of your costs are managed by you, so you control your out-of-pocket. If you pay your own health insurance, you're on COBRA, uninsured, your employer is just too much, or even self-employed or small businesses, call me, Mike, today. 385-367-6779. Again, that's 385-367-6779, or visit mypolicyquote.com. That's mypolicyquote.com to get started now.
911, tell me exactly what happened.
My son and his wife and their 2 children haven't responded.
Susan Powell disappeared on a snowy morning in 2009.
Your wife is missing, Josh.
Yeah, but
And you want to think about it for a couple of days?
The podcast, Cold, has gone deep on these kinds of stories.
I'd had this overwhelming feeling that he had done something to her already.
Clearly, something happened on that couch because he cleaned it.
Find and follow Cold wherever you get your podcasts.
You deserve a home that's truly your sanctuary. Why are you waiting? Dreammaker Bath & Kitchen helps turn someday into today. A space that works and feels like you. Because design and build live under one roof, your remodel experience stays organized. From the first discovery consultation to the final walkthrough, with one team from start to finish. You deserve a home that you can truly be happy in. And that's possible right now. A clear, structured timeline keeps guesswork out of your kitchen or bath project, and it starts with your budget and a fixed price. Then the detailed plan begins with smart and stylish selections, so you know exactly what to expect. Dreammaker Bath & Kitchen is built on integrity and customer focus, and that shows up in the little things, clean job sites, and proactive updates that keep you fully in the loop. Back nationally and 3 locally owned Wasatch Front locations. Schedule a consultation at dreammaker-remodel.com. That's dreammaker-remodel.com. Enhancing lives, improving homes. dreammaker-remodel.com.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. We are just a few months away from the official 250th birthday of our country, and pieces of Utah's history will be part of the big celebration in Philadelphia. At an event yesterday, Rosie Rios, chair of America 250, explained that the country will be burying a time capsule there on July 4th that will sum up who we are now so Americans 250 years from now know.
So today we are sending off Utah's contribution to the time capsule to Washington, D.C., and it will be curated by the National Park Service and the Independence National Historic Park in Philadelphia. This project fulfills a statutory requirement from Congress to place a time capsule in Philadelphia on July 4th, 2026. So the time capsule will be sealed for 250 years until 2276, which is hard to even comprehend.
So, what will Utah be putting in the box? Our contributions include signatures from Utah's top political and religious leaders, small replicas of Utah's current and historic state flags, coins from dates that mark some significant points in time for Utah's history, Olympic pins from 2002 and 2034, and several other items. Utah House Speaker Mike Schultz is throwing in his representative's pin into the mix as well.
Utahns and Americans may not know the names of those that signed that today. However, it is my hope that they will be the recipients of our thoughtful and deliberate and forward-looking leadership. Over the past 250 years, Utah has been shaped by our values, faith, foresight, sacrifice, and determination to leave things better than what we found them. That's the pioneer spirit. That's what we still have today here in Utah. These signatures reflect Utah's commitment to those values. And it's my hope that these principles will continue to guide the state for the next 250 years. As legislators, President Adams talks about this all the time. We're skating to where the puck is going. We're thinking ahead. We're thinking about what's next, not just the issues that we're faced today, but what's things going to be like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 and 100 years from now, and how can we help solve those problems today? Everybody that's been in business, everybody that's worked to solve problems knows that it is easier to solve those problems early before they become problems rather than letting them fester. And so my hope is that Utah and its leaders will continue the pioneer tradition of forward thinking so the promise of American can ring true. Those American dreams can ring true for Utahns centuries from now.
Utah's contribution to America's time capsule will be displayed before they're sent to the East Coast to be buried at Independence National Historical Park in Philadelphia on July 4th. My comment is, what, no green Jell-O in there? In the next hour of Midday, we'll take a closer look at a child care scholarship program here in Utah that's already seeing some impressive success. Stay with us.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Taking a holistic approach to dealing with domestic violence, it's become a focus for local leaders. How could this kind of approach help with the ongoing issues dealing with domestic violence?
Wins and losses in the courtroom aren't what the survivor is prioritizing at that time. And we do need to understand the full breadth of what a survivor is doing, even if we're only interacting with them in one piece of their journey.
The time is 2 o'clock on Thursday, April 23rd. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. So what exactly goes into this kind of approach? We'll get details. Also this hour, if you're already looking to summer plans but worried about the increasing costs of everything right now, you're not alone. Affordable summer fun. We have an in-depth look at how you can have fun without breaking the bank coming up at 2:15. But first, our top stories. The Salt Lake City Council is now addressing the multiple accusations of sexual harassment against council member Eva Lopez Chavez. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson has the latest.
Several people, including a fellow council member and a state representative, have described to KSL incidents where Lopez restrained them and seemed to make sexual advances. In one account, Lopez reportedly put her hands around a woman's neck and pushed her up against a wall. They're speaking out about their experiences now and say it's been a pattern of behavior. The Salt Lake City Council released a statement saying they take the allegations seriously and they're actively reviewing all the information to make sure it's addressed with urgency and care. Lopez is denying that she ever forced anyone down and insists she hasn't had any malice or sexual intent in anything she's done. She also says if anyone was offended by her conduct, she's certainly apologetic. Lopez is currently running for Congress in Utah's 1st District. Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
Lopez's comments came through her attorney, Greg Skordas, who's also the host of Inside Sources here at KSL, but is not involved in our coverage of the story. Our top national story from ABC News. A new threat from President Trump amid an ongoing ceasefire that has no defined timeline. ABC's Karen Travers with the latest.
President Trump in a social media post Thursday morning says he ordered the U.S. Navy to shoot and kill any boat that's laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. It's not clear if Iran is currently engaged in mine-laying operations in the strait during the ceasefire. There are no U.S. Navy ships in the Strait of Hormuz, though there are 17 U.S. Navy ships east of the strait in the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. So far, all of the previous attacks on Iranian mine-laying ships have been from the air. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Taking a look at your money at this moment. At the close, the Dow down by 179 points, more than 0.25%, sitting at 49,310. S&P down by 30 points, the NASDAQ down by 219. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big. UCCU, love where you bank. Ricky?
After a very busy noon hour, we are seeing a quiet drive in progress, and that's on the Valley freeways and our main secondaries. Construction may cause you a little bit of a reduced speed if you're traveling I-215's westbound between North Temple and 2100 South. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Forecast calling for a 30% chance of lingering showers this afternoon, decreasing to a 10% chance tomorrow, and then back to a 30% chance on Saturday. 52 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Any Hour Services can help unclog any drain in your house. Whether you have a backup, a clog, or a slow drain you want fixed, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
My friend Joey loves to use old familiar sayings.
You know what they say?
The problem is,
don't look at a gift horse, cause you can't make them drink.
He gets a lot of them mixed up.
People who live in glass houses,
here it comes,
shouldn't cry over spilt milk.
There are also a lot of sayings in the financial world, like, you'll pay lower taxes in retirement. But for many people, it's just not true. You may have done a great job saving in that 401k or IRA, but Uncle Sam is ready to grab a big portion of that money. The team at Galileo Wealth Management can help with strategies that you can start now to lower your tax bill in the future. More for you and less for Uncle Sam.
Or as they say, an apple a day is worth 2 in the bush.
Get the facts on your tax bill in retirement. Call Galileo Wealth today at 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000 or online at GalileoWealth.com.
And remember, a stitch in time keeps the doctor away. Does, you know.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Taking a holistic approach to prosecuting domestic violence cases, that's what Salt Lake County District Attorney Sim Gill says his office will do going forward. He says that understanding the complex needs of victims is important to overall healing, meaning his office will do more than seek court convictions. Kimmy Wolf with the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition says that she's very much in favor of this kind of approach.
A holistic approach, I believe, as he was referring to, is commonly referred to as wraparound services in the domestic violence service provider world. And, you know, we've long understood victims and advocates that their needs go beyond the crisis situation. And I believe that's what Mr. Gill was referring to.
Yeah, it sounds like he wants it to be more than just a court case and more about understanding the victim and what has happened in the situation and kind of recognizing that every person is individual.
Absolutely. And his statement in the article that said that prosecutors should focus beyond wins and losses in the courtroom, that's absolutely correct. Wins and losses in the courtroom aren't what the survivor is prioritizing at that time. And we do need to understand the full breadth of what a survivor is doing, even if we're only interacting with them in one piece of their journey.
Well, he's talking about a more holistic approach. What has actually happened in the past when it comes to these types of cases?
There's a reason why service providers don't just provide crisis sheltering. When you work with an advocate, they're addressing the immediate need, but then also long-term needs, like affordable housing, stability in a safe living situation. It's going to be the cornerstone to addressing the other needs that a survivor needs to rebuild their lives.
So in the past, it sounds like it was just about the court case, not really talking to the victim and understanding their perspective.
That's definitely what I think survivors have told us. And, and I know each individual case is different, but I think overall, when survivors talk about, interact with law enforcement, interact with the prosecutor's office, there are other things going on in their lives. And you might have an eager witness at the beginning of a court case, but then, he or she might have other priorities, change their mind. And many times that's because of other things that are at jeopardy if they move forward with the court case.
Mm-hmm. So how does law enforcement go about making kind of this shift in thinking?
Well, I think the improvements that have come from the lethality assessment protocol, having law enforcement help survivors make that connection, bridge the connection over to domestic violence service providers. That's a huge start. But then also, we want to stress, evidence collection that comes from investigative techniques like the strangulation, reimbursement exam, collecting that valuable information that can be used later on to strengthen a court case. The evidence collection is going to be crucial, especially if you have a victim who becomes less ready to move forward with a prosecution.
Yeah, for whatever reason, right?
For whatever reason, yes.
Oh, what else needs to be done to really improve the situation?
Well, I think a great start would be fully funding existing programs. And these programs assist survivors with these long-term holistic solutions like Mr. Gill is referring to. And so we have that system in place. We have organizations that are working directly with survivors, and to be able to fully fund their efforts to case management, these particular situations, these long-term needs, I think that would go a long way toward efficiency and getting these needs met and coordinated.
Kimmy Wolf is with the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition. You can read more about DA Sim Gill's approach at ksl.com. Stay with us. We'll be back with more in just a few minutes.
Cameras, artificial intelligence.
On one hand, it's a surveillance state issue. Like, are we being watched too much?
And networks you don't even know exist are tracking you right now.
It helped us in a number of investigations to bring people to justice that likely would not have happened.
Who's watching and what are they doing with it?
We have a right to privacy in the United States, and I hope that we can maintain it.
KSL explores the tension around our growing surveillance state, tonight at 10.
Get your yard ready with Rich Lawn. Spring is here, and it's time to bring your lawn back to life. Start with Rich Lawn Turf Food, an organic-based fertilizer that feeds your soil and keeps your grass greener, longer. Looking for professional-grade results? Organic 100 delivers the nutrients your lawn needs to thrive. And for the finishing touches, Rich Lawn has you covered with Iron Rich for yellowing lawns, Easy Green Grass Seed, and Grow Rich Garden Fertilizer. Put in the work, trust Rich Lawn, and enjoy a yard you'll be proud of. Available at Home Depot and independent garden centers.
Did you know Utah State University is home to one of the nation's leading centers for disability research and advocacy? At the Institute for Disability Research, Policy, and Practice, we work side by side with Utahns with disabilities, their families, and community partners to make our state more accessible and inclusive for everyone. Our researchers, educators, and advocates partner with family service providers and policymakers to create real lasting change. We believe that everyone deserves a chance to live, learn, work, and play in our communities. From helping children reach their potential in early intervention programs, to building accessible technologies, to improving mental health and employment supports, our work touches every corner of the state. The Institute for Disability Research, Policy, and Practice is the only disability-focused research center in the state of Utah. That means we're Utah's home for innovation, data-driven policy, and community solutions that make life better for people with disabilities. Find us at idrpp.usu.edu.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Call Trajan today at 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
The war in Iran and ongoing trouble in the Strait of Hormuz has many concerned about the prices of many things. We've been talking about it for a while now, how gas prices have gone up and the rising cost is trickling down to groceries, travel, and more. Today, we want to really dig into how the rising prices could affect your summer plans. Among those worried about the extra costs are airlines, many of whom have been eating the additional price of jet fuel. But that could change, and summer travelers could start to see higher costs for vacations. Affordable summer fun. We are taking a closer look at ways to save money on your travel plans, plus things you can do close to home to still enjoy the warmer months without breaking the bank. Let's kick things off with ABC News transportation reporter Sam Sweeney.
We are expecting to see elevated prices for many, many months. And even if oil does begin to drop in the next couple of weeks or couple of months, don't expect airfare to drop right along with it. Airlines have been eating a lot of the cost on this elevated fuel because most people bought their tickets for right now before the war started, so at a lower price. So the airlines are losing a lot. They need to recoup those costs. So they're going to try to keep tickets elevated for as long as they have to recoup those losses.
So with higher prices in the airline industry, what can you do to still enjoy the summer and not go into a bunch of debt? I'm joined now by America First Credit Union's Dave Nellis. He's the Director of Public Relations. Dave, thanks for being with me.
Thanks, Maria. It's great to be here.
Okay, we all want to have fun this summer, but we don't want to break the bank or have to take out a second mortgage. How do we find some balance?
Yeah, we certainly don't want to rob ourselves or our families of creating some great memories. And I'll start out just by saying that financial health and stability starts with becoming informed and educated, which leads to intentional decisions. And those little decisions add up and make a difference over time. And so that concept translates to lots of facets in life, including our summer plans. And so we're feeling the squeeze this year with those higher prices.
We certainly are. So how can we be intentional about making travel plans right now?
Well, planning is very, very important. So, we notice there's a spike in prices. So, if you wait till the last minute, you're going to be paying premium prices. And so make sure that you're looking at flights, hotels, and rental cars, planning early, even a couple weeks earlier than maybe what you would have thought. And maybe you be adjustable or flexible with the dates that you go. Traveling midweek, I think, is probably going to be better than the weekends. You know, we know the kids might be out of school on the holidays, on the weekends, but if you can shift your trip even by a day or two, you could save quite a bit, which is good.
Okay, so that would be...
I think...
Go ahead. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, it's okay. And I think important that we do with anything in life is we should set a budget. We should plan. And so set a budget before you travel rather than just say, well, this is going to cost this. So think about your travel, your lodging, your food and activities. Set your total first. And that helps you make smarter choices along the way instead of reacting to prices and having that shock when you get on your vacation.
So how do people decide how much money that they can budget for a vacation?
Oh yeah, that's a tricky one. You know, I think that's usually set well in advance before, but you never want to put yourself into trouble and have to compensate. You know, sometimes it's worth it to go into debt a little bit, but you want to make sure that debt is manageable debt. Not all debt is bad, but some of that debt that becomes subject to high interest rates, let's say on a credit card, that will cost you in the end, and so you want to be careful. I think there's things that you can do to avoid incurring that debt along your vacation, and maybe consider your food choices. I think food is probably one of the biggest expenses that you can control while you're on your vacation. So maybe you book a hotel that offers a free breakfast, or maybe you take some snacks with you. Oftentimes we go to the gas station and we fill up, but there's all those convenience items that just cost a lot. Oh, I just want to get me a Coke or get me some Twinkies. You're going to pay premium prices for those. So, you know, planning ahead and taking your snacks and your food with you is always good.
A lot of us just want to put it on the credit card, and you were talking about credit cards, being careful with interest rates. What are your suggestions to make sure that we don't we don't rack up some high credit card debt?
Well, maybe take those low-cost trips that don't really require a credit card. There's a lot of great things that we can do around here locally, you know, free activities. You go on some hikes and parks and museums and still create memories that don't have a cost, that don't have to go on a credit card. Oftentimes we use our credit card for those big purchases, but also those little purchases. Maybe pay cash or use your debit card rather than put it on a credit card that's going to be subject to high interest rates. And I think it's always wise to check in on your mobile app. Always, you know, how much did I spend today? Keeping track of those so that you don't just buy it and then forget it, but you're watching and being conscious about how much money you're spending there. I will tell you there's lots of great deals with credit cards. There's perks and rewards, and that's probably a good time to use those. And you can even, you know, use websites like Gas Buddy or Google Maps and look for the cheapest gas. You can maybe save 10 to 20 cents just by driving a few extra miles to go get those pennies saved. All right. I also think, Maria, there's one other tip that I think is important is our driving habits, being intentional. Sometimes we love to gas hard and we brake hard. We want to be the first to the stoplight, but it's always gas, brake, gas, brake. Rather than do that, be intentional about your driving. There's a reason why we get better mileage on the freeway than we do in city driving, because we're always pushing the limits. And so, you know, just think about how do I put less wear and tear on my vehicle and be a little bit more controlled and more calm when I'm driving.
Dave, thanks for the great tips. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
That is Dave Nellis, Director of Public Relations at America First Credit Union. If you're sticking around the area for summer, but you still want your kids to be engaged and have fun, how about some space-themed camps?
Flowers to porches, patios, beds, or containers. Learn more at OGG.com. That's .com. That's OGG.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your
on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Need your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. As prices for summer travel continue to rise, you might be choosing to stay local and do something a little bit more low-key. But if you want your kids to stay active and engaged, what can you do? With all of the talk of space right now, largely thanks to the Artemis missions, maybe you would consider sending your kids to a space-themed camp. If so, you're in luck. The University of Utah will have a series of out-of-this-world camps. Crystal Martinez is the Youth Education Director for the University of Utah's Connected Learning programs. So, Crystal, talk to me about the inspiration behind this year's summer camps.
We actually have always provided a wide range of opportunities for youth 6 to 17 years old. And these camps have been a really huge staple, but, seeing all of the exciting things happening around space within the media and things like that and movies and, what just happened. And so we decided to really highlight these this year.
So what will happen during the camp? How will it actually highlight those things?
The great thing about our camps is they are interactive. So students get to work on a wide variety of things that are related to space within the multiple camps that we have. We have camps with the Department of Physics as well. We have a Space Quest camp, robotics, Scratch, things like that.
Describe what a difference these types of camps make for young people.
Yeah, especially considering that we are doing these things in the summer, when students are not necessarily engaging in learning opportunities, they get to come onto the university campus or with our partners and explore all of these awesome opportunities with their peers and continue to build on those learning skills throughout the summer.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty unique opportunity.
Yes, definitely. And honestly, that it's just a glimpse at the hundreds of camps we have available.
Can we kind of highlight some of the programs that you're going to be doing under the Space Camp?
We have our Space Quest camp that runs from ages 6 to 9 and 10 to 13. It's an astronomy camp where they're going to be learning about the sun, moon, planets, the stars, and through hands-on models. We have our instructor coming from a space camp previous experience, so it's going to be exciting. We also have a Scratch programming robots camp that is going to be a beginner-friendly coding camp that really highlights the different mechanical components to building problem solving and engineering skills.
And then you mentioned that you have a wide variety of camps. How many students actually go through your camps each summer?
We have about 2,500 students engage in our campus camps.
Okay. And then every year when you select the different types of camps, you mentioned this one was inspired by everything that's been happening with our moon mission. How do you decide what types of camps to offer?
So we go based off of, student interest, what instructors are looking to teach, and also keeping an eye out on, what's really important to people right now. What are people talking about? We have art-related classes that are related to some youth movies as well. And so we look into a wide variety of things when choosing our camps.
Let's turn now to Amanda McGarry, Campus Camps Program Manager. And Amanda, how are your camps different and then interesting to manage?
I would say they are different from other camps because we not only have individual instructors that we hire that are experts in their field, but we also work with campus departments and then as well as community organizations. So we really pull a lot of different resources together and connect our youth audience with the community. I enjoy managing this program because pretty much that same thing. I get to engage with my own community and pull resources together and then get to see all the kids really enjoy everything and make friends and have a really great time.
What difference do you think that this type of camp makes for young people?
Yeah, I think, as more and more things are being taken away from kids in the school systems and things like that, as far as like extracurriculars, it's just an opportunity for them to learn different and unique things. We have a lot of subjects of camps that you won't really see anywhere else. I like to draw on what's trending amongst youth right now, and just some unique things. Off the top of my head, an example would be we have an urban art class, so like a graffiti class, and I don't think you would find that other places, and teaching kids about the history of that art and allowing them to do that in a safe and legal environment, I think is a cool thing.
Yeah, so what exactly do they do?
We build some temporary walls outside of our building, and we have a local artist teach that camp, and they'll learn about the history of that art form, some different styles and techniques like stencils and things like that, and then they'll get to put what they learn to practice with spray paint on actual walls outside. So it's pretty cool.
As the manager of these programs, what kind of response have you heard from parents, and what is their reaction to the things that you offer?
Mostly super positive. Like I said, having some of those different unique camps, parents are really excited about all the different opportunities their kids can take. Multiple camps in the same week. So we offer like morning and afternoon camps. So their kids could be learning, let's say, art in the morning and robotics in the afternoon. So it really allows kids to explore multiple interests, which I think is great.
Okay. Anything that you'd like to add that maybe I haven't asked you?
We definitely have a lot of kind of science-based, traditional sort of STEM stuff, which is great. But then we also have a number of really unique things like cosplay and that urban art that I mentioned. And we always say it, but really we have a camp for everyone. And I think that's another thing that really makes our program special.
Classes are open now for registration at continue.utah.edu/youth. It's 2:30 midday at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. As we move into summer and UDOT crews hit the roads and highways for construction, officials are asking you to slow down and be extra alert in the work zones. A child care assistance program in Park City putting nearly $7 million back into the local economy while also helping nearly 200 children. And KSL traffic, Ricky.
We are looking at a crash-free commute in progress. Maria?
We are looking at a bit of a change in the forecast with those showers dwindling. We'll check your forecast coming up.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Authorities in Baton Rouge say at least 10 people were injured after gunshots rang out at the Mall of Louisiana today. It happened at the food court. Chief T.J. Moore says they believe this was an incident involving two groups of people that stemmed from an argument.
It does not appear to be just a random act of violence, but a very targeted kind of disagreement between two groups of people.
Today's incident follows another shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana Sunday, where police say a father shot and killed 7 of his children, along with an 8th child. Police say Shamar Elkins died in that shootout with police. His friend is now facing felony charges in connection to how Elkins got the gun. President Trump announcing new agreements to help lower drug costs for prescription drugs. He also told reporters he doesn't feel pressure to get a deal finalized with Iran and says if they don't agree, the U.S. could carry out strikes once again. On Wall Street today, stocks ending lower due to war uncertainty. This is ABC News.
KSL's top local story. Civil rights attorneys are now suing Utah County on behalf of a man accused of killing a Santaquin police officer. Attorneys say Michael Jane's defense team is not being given enough money to provide him fair representation. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more.
The lawsuit now filed in federal court claims Utah County leaders have imposed caps on fees for Michael Jane's attorneys as well as mitigation and investigative work in the case, all of which totals $340,000. However, the suit claims in the case of Tyler Robinson, the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk, the county has allocated a minimum of $3 million for fees with no caps. Elizabeth Wong is one of the attorneys representing Jane in this lawsuit.
There's really no
valid reasons why there should be such a stark difference in funding, especially when the mitigation case for Mr. Jane is going to require so much more work.
Utah County Commissioner Skylar Beltran responded to the lawsuit in a statement saying, quote, "We are committed to safeguarding constitutional rights while carrying out our duties responsibly and in accordance with the law." Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Other local stories KSL is following. BYU basketball could soon be losing their superstar forward, AJ DeBonsa, to the NBA. After just one season with BYU, DeBonsa has officially declared for the NBA draft. He made the announcement at his old elementary school in Massachusetts, telling people he's not going to let this take away from his education.
Even when I'm done playing in the NBA, education will still be there, and I can still use my education to, if I want to be a broadcaster, I can use my education for that. If I want to get a doctor's degree, I can use my education for that. So I just want to emphasize how important education is.
He says he plans to continue pursuing his degree in mass communications online. DeBonsa was the nation's top scorer last season and is largely considered a top draft pick. Practicing an attitude of forgiveness can lead to greater well-being, according to a New World study. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis has more.
Researchers say harboring feelings of hurt and refusing to forgive leads people to feeling bitter, resentful, and fearful, and it can even carry over into revenge-seeking behavior. They found people who easily and readily forgive have better psychological, social, and physical health. The researchers say this is not about forgetting or excusing harm, but demonstrating an ability to let go of anger and resentment, choosing to not let the hurt harm you more. They say this attitude can lead to lower blood pressure, greater hope, and can reduce depression. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
Taking a look at your money at this moment at the close, the Dow was down 179 points to close at 49,310. S&P down by 29 and the NASDAQ down by 219 points. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big. UCCU, love where you bank. Ricky?
We've had a small patch of slowdowns northbound I-15 going from North Salt Lake to Woods Cross, especially by Main Street, North Salt Lake. So right after the North Interchange, it has filled in and slowed down, and then it clears out. Right now, it's moving okay. Not really sure what's happening there. Can't see a problem, but just be aware. Once you're past that into Woods Cross and Bountiful, you're good to go through the rest of Davis County. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Still a 30% chance of showers across the Wasatch Front today, dwindling to a 10% chance tomorrow before coming back on Saturday at 30% and 50% on Sunday. Right now, 55 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Is the volatility of the stock market driving you crazy? Is your retirement account sinking, yet you're getting older and you're starting to worry about, will I have enough for retirement? What about the money in the bank? These banks pay nothing these days. How do we get growth to get to retirement account? It's simple. Move into gold and silver. Want to know how to do it? Listen to my show, Striking Gold, with me, Kenny Michaels.
Now on Saturday at 5 p.m.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
The KSL News Radio Movie Show comes to My Hearing Centers Friday from 10 to 1. But first, discover what My Hearing Centers can do for you. My Hearing Centers uses advanced technology to diagnose and treat hearing loss. These comprehensive evaluations determine the best treatment options. Then enjoy lifetime support with regular check-ins, cleaning, and maintenance. Call My Hearing Centers at 801-701-1629. 801-701-1629. 1629 for more details. My Hearing Centers has offices from Ogden to St. George.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. You can't miss them. Utah's unofficial state flower during the summer, orange cones. They've popped up all over the state as roadwork season officially gets underway. It's also the time of year highway safety officials remind us to slow down, pay extra attention to what's happening in the construction zones. UDOT's John Gleason says crashes in work zones are common, and he says taking extra care protects not only road workers, but also motorists.
We saw more than 2,100 crashes in work zones throughout Utah last year alone, and 4 fatalities. That those were people that were involved in crashes, and unfortunately, it was it's the people that are in the vehicles that are often the ones that end up injured or even worse. And so really, it's not just about protecting our workers. It's really about protecting all of us and making sure that we can all get home safely to our families and get to where we're going, as safely and efficiently as possible.
As you might imagine, Gleason says construction zones on the freeway are the scariest for workers.
It's something that you don't think about when you're driving by at 75, 80 miles per hour. But when you're out there in these construction zones, it feels like you're a target sometimes because you're right next to moving traffic. And if there's anybody out there that takes their focus off of the road for even a split second, the results can be deadly.
He says while no road workers were killed last year, motorists did die.
It's a good year anytime you can have your workers get home safely without being involved in these crashes. But we really want everyone to get home to their families. And that means all of us that are out there on the roads driving, just really slow down and drive for those conditions, whether there's weather or whether you're in a construction zone. You always have to be on the lookout for those changing situations on our roads.
Gleason says motorists this year are going to see even more road projects than normal because of the unseasonably warm temperatures.
You're going to see construction sites really all across the state as we have so many projects going on right now. And it's, we don't want just our workers to get home safely. We want everyone that's out there driving in these construction areas to get home safely to their families as well. And so it's really important that people slow down and pay attention to those changing traffic configurations. There can be a stretch of road that you've driven 1,000 times, but it may be different on the Monday morning when you wake up because it's under construction. So you really need to slow down when you see those construction signs and reduce speed limits.
So pack your patience, give yourself some extra time to get where you're going so that you and your passengers can arrive safely. Turning to national news now, the Pentagon has terminated most collective bargaining agreements with the Department of Defense. News Nation's Tosin Fakile has the latest from Capitol Hill.
I reached out to the Department of Defense to confirm if Pete Hegseth sent out that memo to end the collective bargaining agreement, and their response to me really didn't answer the question. The department is executing Presidential Executive Order 14251 and 14343, which concerns the termination of certain collective bargaining agreements. Department components will notify affected bargaining units of the status of their agreements, end quote. AFGE, the union which says it represents 300,000 employees at the Department of Defense, says the decision is a continuation of this administration's unlawful attack on federal employees' First Amendment right to belong to a union. I spoke with a federal employment attorney here in D.C. He tells me one thing DOD employees with collective bargaining should be doing now is trying to understand their rights outside the agreement. He says federal employees rely on the collective bargaining agreement to go after matters regarding their pay, benefits, and even filing grievances. He adds the move limits those employees' rights, and here's what he says they should be doing now.
They should be trying to understand their rights and getting their personnel files in place to ensure that their personal files are correct and accurate. If there are things that are incorrect from their personnel files to inform their supervisors or HR officials, if not, retaining those private attorneys. I think they should be monitoring these lawsuits as well that are concerning these orders canceling the agreement.
One of the executive orders signed by President Trump took away the collective bargaining rights for federal employees in about 40 federal agencies and subdivisions. There have been legal challenges to the Trump administration's move to strip collective bargaining rights. Near the Pentagon, I'm Tosin Fakile.
The DoD employee union, AFGE, says it successfully challenged illegal attempts to strip their members of their union rights in the past and that they will continue to do so. Midday continues in just a moment.
For over 22 years, speaking on business on KSL News Radio has been a beloved tradition, celebrating our heroic business leaders and Utah consumers who have helped build one of the strongest state economies in the nation. Now, under the stewardship of the Salt Lake Chamber and hosted by Chamber President and CEO Derek Miller, the program continues to shine a spotlight on those who make Utah's business environment dynamic and thriving. With his expertise and passion, Derek brings the stories of our business community to life. As part of the Salt Lake Chamber, Speaking on Business is proud to continue its legacy of highlighting inspiring stories, trends, and special guests. Support Utah businesses now and be part of Utah's thriving economy. More information can be found at slchamber.com. That's slchamber.com.
Does your home have peeling paint or faded colors? Don't procrastinate. You need to protect your home with quality paint and a worry-free process, so make an appointment with CertaPro Painters. You quickly get a free estimate that's detailed, easy to understand, and then their trusted local professionals will bring fresh color to your home with quality craftsmanship at the right price. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. CertaPro.com.
Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word news to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
It's an issue that we have talked about time and time again. Utahns struggle with both the cost and availability for childcare. Unfortunately, it's not just here in the state, it's a nationwide problem. Park City and Summit County leaders have been trying a new approach, and they're already seeing some huge benefits. It's called the Child Care Scholarship Program. Joining me to go in depth on how the program works and how its overall impact is Michelle Downard, Strategic Initiatives Advisor for Park City. So first of all, Michelle, tell us more about the scholarship program. How does it work?
Hi, thank you for having me. So, as you mentioned, childcare is something that is very much a community conversation in Park City and Summit County, and is also becoming a nationwide conversation. We were hearing from families that finding affordable, high-quality childcare in our area was really a significant barrier for them to make difficult decisions between employment and childcare. And so not only does this strain household budgets, but it's also a limiting factor to our community's economic mobility. And so our city council, discussed this quite a few times in various council meetings and designed a program to address and respond to this need for affordable childcare.
So
the program's designed to...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that the program's designed to ensure that financial support is provided to families that, really need it the most within our community.
So describe how your scholarship program works, though.
Yeah, so scholarship amounts are based off of household income eligibility and the cost of childcare. And so we offer support to members and residents of the community, in addition to members of our workforce that really help the city to run and make sure that the economy keeps moving along strongly.
How many people are able to take advantage of this program?
We really don't have a cap to the number of families that are able to participate. It really is determined on a first-come, first-served basis and the resources available. We've dedicated funding to this and so far have been able to support 162 families.
What makes your program so special and different? I mean, we hear about scholarship programs, but they don't often involve workers, though. So tell us what makes it really special and different.
Yeah, sure. We're encouraged by the impact. We just released a year 2 impact report. And so what we're looking at is, not only the individual stories about community members who are able to pursue new employment, stay employed within the city, pursue promotions, but also looking at the tangible economic benefits, which include a 325% return on investment through sustained wages and avoided employee turnover and those sorts of returns.
Mm-hmm. So we know that you kind of have a tourism kind of industry in your city, so you have a harder time keeping employees or housing employees. So I'm imagining that's why this also works very well for you.
Yeah, of course. So, we have generally a small community when it comes to full-time residents, 8,500 people. And yet the city, from a day-to-day basis, requires a robust workforce of 14, maybe 15,000 individuals a day to really keep the economy running strong.
Okay, so does this scholarship program go to those employees that don't actually live in your city full-time?
Scholarships are available for both, members of the workforce at a certain rate, in addition to residents of the city.
Okay. I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah. Thank you.
Michelle Downard, Park City Strategic Initiatives Advisor, telling us about this unique scholarship program. One man on a mission to run 1,000 miles around a track at Layton High School. But why? More on that story coming up in just a few minutes. But first, it's traffic on KSL News Radio. It's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big. UCCU. Love where you bank. Ricky?
Big backups east and westbound on SR 73 Corey Ride Highway in Utah County due to a traffic light malfunctioning at Ranches Parkway on the way to Eagle Mountain. Then in Davis County, a small crash eastbound Gentile Street at Main in Layton. If your roof needs repair or replacement, do it now during S&S Roofing's huge spring sale. Flexible financing options available. Get the best value on the highest quality roofing job. Get a quote today at snsroofingutah.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
This is Nate Orchard from Advanced Window Products. When you live in Utah, your windows do a lot more than let the light in. They protect your home from freezing winters, blazing summers, and everything in between. That's why Advanced Window Products builds every window for your local climate. No middleman, no out-of-state delays, just factory direct quality, custom made for your home. Imagine a quieter home, a warmer home, a cooler home. Our high-efficiency vinyl windows are engineered to lower your energy bills and boost your comfort all year round. And installation is done by our own certified in-house crews, never subcontractors. That's why Utah homeowners give us 5-star reviews. Right now, take advantage of our anniversary sale. For a limited time, get $2,500 off when you buy 10 or more windows. Call 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. For 40 years, Advanced Window Products has been the name Utah trusts for custom replacement windows and sliding glass doors. Advanced Window Products, built here, installed here, trusted here. Call 801-850-9100 for that $2,500 off or visit us at advancedwindows.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Attention RV owners or RV wannabe owners. It's the used RV blowout sale. RVs from all over the Intermountain West have been sent to Provo Town Center for this RV liquidation event. Repos, buybacks, rental returns, and trade-ins. Blowout pricing. Every RV has been inspected and serviced and ready to go. Free admission, free parking, dealers welcome. The used RV blowout sale. This Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to dusk. Go to UtahRVEvent.com. Sponsored by Paris RV, Provo Town Center, 1200 Town Center Boulevard, Provo. Paris RV is your locally owned, family-run RV dealership. We strive hard to find the very best RVs for the price. With 4 locations, over 1,000 RVs in stock, 42 service bays, and 4 super parts stores. We're sure to help take your family on the best RV vacation. Check out our perfect family bunkhouse trailer, the 26BH, that sleeps 9 for $19,995 or $227 a month. Zero down. Life is short. Enjoy it. North Murray, South Murray, Payson, and Pocatello. ParisRV.com.
When American troops withdrew from Afghanistan in 2021, thousands of evacuees fled to the U.S. for protection. Many Americans welcomed their new neighbors.
For the last week, the governor tells me his office has been getting calls nonstop with Utahns wanting to help.
When we saw the pictures and the videos coming out of Afghanistan, we prayed to be able to help them.
But then, what happened? Listen to Stranger Becomes Neighbor, wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. An unusual sight along the Logan River, all as part of a restoration project by the Cache Water District. Dozens of cars and other debris that have made their home in the river for years finally being pulled out of the water. KSL 5 TV's Mike Anderson explains how the junk got into the river in the first place.
This actually wasn't all that unusual of a practice back in the day. About 60 cars so far pulled out. You know, they would use debris and other things like that, kinds of junk, to shore up the banks of a body of water. But by getting in there and fixing things up the right way, they say we can expect to see some major improvements in the look, feel, and safety of the area.
If you can't do it right the first time.
A lot of the bends were reinforced with just concrete and rebar sticking out and a lot of old cars.
To be fair, engineers say the landowner at the time was working with what they had. The method wasn't all that uncommon at the time.
It's called Detroit riprap.
But today, it leaves a whole lot to be desired.
Along with other things like mattresses and old carpet, tires and wheels.
And decades later, that work was starting to show.
Well, there are even locations here in the park where we could see, parts of the car body that was sticking up through the riverbank.
Now the shores of the Logan River by Trapper Park are being shored up with a much more natural look. This $4.7 million project is sponsored by the Cache Water District, with funds mostly coming from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Utah's Watershed Restoration Initiative.
The city's overall plans for this park location had a lot to do with its expanding trail system.
As Rosakina, Logan's Director of Parks and Recreation, points out, a growing walkway comes with it, along with about 50 acres of wetlands that went away decades ago. All the while shoring up a river system here that's designed to better manage overflows from spring runoff.
And as you just saw there, the project includes a major, a pretty large pedestrian bridge there, along with some canal piping. And if all goes as planned, the park, though, will reopen June 1st.
You can see more on Mike's story at ksltv.com. Running is taking on an all-new purpose for a Utah man who is running 1,000 miles to make a difference in the community. Mason Wright is spending a good part of his day running at a local high school track to raise money for a good cause.
So I'm running to raise money for an organization here in Utah called the Single Parent Project, and it's to help support single parents in need. And my mom's a single mom. A lot of women in my life have been single moms. My dad's now a single dad. And so, that's the whole inspiration is we see the work that they're putting in every single day. And everything that I'm doing out here, the pain that I'm currently experiencing while talking to you, this is just a small fraction of what single parents go through every day. And I have the choice to be out here experiencing this. They don't. They have to get up. It doesn't matter how they feel. They have to get up and do this for their kids. And so it's just a representation of just a fraction of the work that they're putting in.
KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson caught up with Mason on the track. Yep, she laced up her own shoes for a little run to find out how the money will be used.
And that money is then used by the Single Parent Project. None of this money comes to me. It goes directly to them. And it's used to help pay for extracurriculars for their kids. It's used to pay rent, groceries. Maybe it's a car payment. Sometimes those little payments, like, taking over a $150 car payment can make or break someone's life, especially as a single mother or single father. And so that's what the Single Parent Project is using that money for, is to support the kids and the parents of these single family households.
Mason is spending 60 to 70% of his day running in order to reach his goal.
And we'll continue to do as many miles as we can every day. 5 a.m., 8 p.m., 15 hours a day. I'm doing this until I finish. The goal is May 4th. I'm a little off pace right now, so it's looking like May 5th or May 6th. But yeah, so we're just going to do this till we get it done.
Okay, get this. He is eating 10 to 15,000 calories right now. He runs from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Layton High School track, and he invites others to join him.
I have these people with me right now. I have my crew. They're sacrificing weeks of their life to be out here with me, and so it's something that it needs to be something greater than myself. Also, that's what gets me up in the morning. I was in a lot of pain when I woke up, and you need that, not just need that motivation, but you also, it's my why. It's why I do this. It's, the experiences that I have had in my past have developed me into the person that I am today, that allows me to push my body. And so by sacrificing my body, it's giving back to those who can't.
You can help support this cause by donating at singleparentproject.org. Jeff Kaplan has joined me in the studio. The most I've ever run is a 5K. How about you?
3 miles. 3 miles.
So 5K is like 3 point something.
I
right?
guess this is cathartic, but how do you eat 15,000 calories a day?
I'd have no problem with that. It's running.